Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, champions. I hope we're doing well this morning. All right, beautiful. So let's kick off. It's just 5 minutes past 8, and I think we're starting on time. And this um, session actually is very important because of, we're supposed to have our individual cell meetings, but we had to call for this. I had to call this, and because of its need. So first of all, before we start, we pray that everything we'll be doing today, that we're well guided, by God Almighty, and then we pray that also that we get the best out of everything today. Now we have the essence of today's session. All right, I want to see how brief we can make this, but I have quite a lot to say. But let me see how much I can compress this. Am I audible? Those at the back, can you hear me? Can you hear me? How did you said no, sir. How did you hear me? Okay, maybe I don't know, should we close that very window? That very one, because of the noise of the generator. Maybe I don't know. Can we put it close? That one. We'll leave this one. Yeah. Because the interference of sound. Okay. But okay, now those at the back, I think I'm audible now. Can you hear me now? Yeah, if we maintain silence, I think my voice will go far. And I think this thing should be put into use. I should have, but just as a distraction, this sound system. Okay, so let's move on. Now, for today, the essence of today's session is like a preparation, it's a preamble, like preparing the ground for the masterminds training tomorrow. I believe we're all aware, right? Is there anybody that's not aware? Are we all aware of the training tomorrow? What time is it? 8 o'clock in the evening, right? At night, yes, by the mastermind, that's my mentor. So he's going to be having that training on, what's the topic? The untold secret of contact recommendation. So we can as well call this like a kind of a preparation for the masterminds training, the untold secret of contact recommendation. All right. Now, if you observe more lately, every smart leader, is tending down towards or coming back to the origin, and that is it. And that's the smart thing to do. Whenever you are facing, let's say you've risen to some level, and then you are facing some challenges at some point in time. I learned something from Ubon King, and I think I also read that from other couple of books too. I think about 2 books have come across that. Between 2 valleys of success, between 2 mountains of success, there's this valley of failure sometimes. There's always this time you go to the peak, and sometimes you get to a level of excitement, a level of success, a level of achievement. Now, most times when you get up, like they say, what goes up must do what? Yes. So whenever you notice you start coming down on anything, what you need to do most times, get back to your origin. Because sometimes we're human beings and we tend to forget certain things. You could start well, and there's always need for a check. You need to recheck your strategy, check what you're doing. So you get to a level and a level of results, a level of achievement, and all of a sudden you see your achievements start dropping. Now, the best thing for you to do, smartness entails that you should retrace your step. You should, check exactly what you're doing. Now, many leaders have been going back to the contact recommendation. That's a very smart one because in quotes, in fact, I was discussing with some of my leaders recently, and I told them there's no dry period. What we looked at dry period was just because of not paying attention, not paying careful attention to what was important. Sometimes we get distracted, and that is exactly what is happening. So I'm going to give us an idea of why some of us, or some of you precisely, have been facing this kind of drop in results. All right. The reality is, I think I already did a good job on that in the previous training, and I uploaded it on YouTube. Is that correct? Have you all gone through it? Those of you that attended training, fine. But I'm talking about the Super Leadership Monday. So go through it on the YouTube page. You just check on my YouTube page. You'll see that full training, back to basics. I named it back to basics with contact recommendation. That is it. So I did a careful kind of careful overview of contact recommendation. But that training was even based on my story. Can we still remember? Yes. Beautiful. It was based on my story. More than half of the training was based on my story, how I rose through, with contact recommendation. All right. Now, so this is preparation against the untold secret of contact recommendation. And we're going to be starting with current occurrence. Now, many of us have been having our result, very drastic drop in result. But I want you to cast your mind back. There were always times where you had amazing results. If you check it very well, you realize that you were so serious with contact recommendation, you and your team. But after some time, you dropped it. And guess what? After some time, you downplayed it. Now, what will happen? You downplayed it. Now, when a mentor teaches you a system, when you learn a system, now, it is one thing to learn it, it's another thing to master it. Your target is, yes, you can learn the basic, but if you decide to use a particular system, then be ready to master it. That should be your intention. Now, unfortunately, one of the reasons why a lot of people, most people struggle before achieving anything, or most people struggle and they hardly achieve anything reasonable. One of the primary reasons why people struggle financially. Please, can you complete the reason why most people struggle financially? Let me tell you the other one. One of the reasons why most people struggle, you say the reason why people struggle financially is that they learn to work hard for their money without understanding the principles and seasons of wealth creation. Robert Kiyosaki said that, but let me teach you this. One of the reasons why most people struggle financially. Hello? One of the reasons why most people struggle financially is that they want to get rich quick. One of the reasons why people hardly achieve, or many people don't hit their achievement, is because they want to achieve it faster than supposed. They want to skip the law of process. Most times it's a thing that happens to us. We just want to, it's natural. Man has this natural kind of nature, this nature within us, whereby we can naturally tend to be hasty. All right, and it's good. Please, it's good. You need to pound in 10x, double your effort, triple your effort, put in a lot of effort as if you want it now. When it comes to mindset, the ideal thing is you set your mind for the long term. When it comes to effort, you put in a lot of effort as if you want it now in the right direction. But guess what? You set your mind for the long term. The long term here meaning till I get my goal. Now, most times, the reason why most people struggle financially, or why people, of course, struggle financially, is most times they want to get it faster and skipping the law of process. Now, everything has its process, especially any worthwhile endeavor. It has process. So people struggle financially, people struggle and they don't achieve most times because they want to skip the law of process. And the result of that most times, okay, the result of that most times is that when you try to skip the law of process, you end up spending more time. That's the result of it. So maybe something you're supposed to do in 6 months, you end up doing it for 6 years, if you ever get it done. Something you're supposed to do in 10 years, in 1 year, you end up doing it for 10 years. That is if you end up even achieving it, right? When you try to skip the law of process, most times you drag through, the time it's supposed to take you to achieve your goal. That's one thing I want you to bear in mind. Are you taking notes? Are we together? Please pay careful attention, all right? The training has started already, all right? Now, another thing again is this, is we look at current occurrence. And the current occurrence, like I said, is about people experiencing a downplaying their result because they downplayed the foundation. You're going to be getting more. The full dose of this training itself is not going to be done today. It's going to be done by the mastermind. And hopefully, I hope I should upload that also on my YouTube, on that YouTube page, so that you can also get access to it. But I encourage every single one of you, please, if you are part of this training, do everything humanly possible to ensure that no single one of your team members misses that training, especially those who have gotten to a level where they can make call. Even those that can't make call, you can get them to be part of the training. All right? Join in early. Don't be late. Join in very early. And because if you come late, the Zoom room will be filled up. And then maybe you might need to join through the Facebook page. All right? So come in early with your team so that you don't miss out. All right? That training Very, very important. All right. It's one of the training that really helped me to understand the contact recommendation. All right. Now, this contact recommendation, a lot of people have not been, you make the calls, after some time you stop because you're not getting results, isn't it? Yeah, that's what happens. And that's the reason why people don't master it. So in quotes, dry period people are currently experiencing is because of, I call it artificial, it's just induced, all right, by our activities. We downplay contact recommendation drastically. And when you downplay contact recommendation, guess what happened? In addition, the ED 3.0 was launched. So initially, a system, okay, this is home launch. Home launch is good. Please, let's pay attention. Can you shut the door, please? Please shut the door. Nobody comes in again, please. Any other person comes in, should just go to another office. No, don't get any distraction. Okay. And just shut the door, please. Because we'll keep getting distractions. Okay. All right. So now let me tell you what happened. When you started doing the home launch, when you started doing the, please, somebody just started with the Fatima, tell them they should go to another office. There are other offices, please, so that we don't get distracted. That's why I said once it's 8, let's be here so that we can. All right. Okay. So guess what happened? Contact recommendation is an amazing system. I'm going to give you the analysis of it. Please follow me carefully. Don't get distracted. Please, let's minimize movement so that you can understand this analysis very, very, very carefully. Now, contact recommendation is a powerful system. Home launch came on board. Of course, home launch has been there. I taught people the home launch, presentation launch, office launch, name it, all kinds of presentation launches. Now we started using it. But what we discover is that because of that, a lot of people played down contact recommendation. Now, I want to tell you this. Home launch is not a system that is just meant to stand on its own. It's a powerful room to augment whatever you are doing. Follow me carefully. It's a powerful opportunity or an avenue to augment whatever you are doing. Now, home launch is very powerful. It's a good breaker. You can use it to break the ground. All right. It's like when you go to the abattoir, and guess what happened? The man brings out an axe. He's butchering the meat, isn't it? And he brings out a small axe. And what does he do? He uses it to pieces the ribs and the bones and all that, isn't it? But at the end of the day, can you use that same axe to cut the meat into tiny pieces like the knife? You can't do it better like the knife. Here's one thing I want you to understand. So home launch is a breaker. You can use it to break the ground. You can use it to amplify results. You can use it to, get out of tough terrains. A person can do contact recommendation, or maybe a person can get short of contact lists. You get short of contact lists. You are booking and you don't have contact lists, and I can okay, just organize a home launch. It's like saying this is a bone. The knife cannot cut through it. What do? Get an axe and you down the bone. But when you want to cut out those little meat in between the bones, you get a sharp knife. All right, this is how you compare home launch to contact recommendation. So the idea behind it is when you have the home launch, you can use it to break tough terrains. I can do a launch for you. I can get contacts and then we can proceed. You are meant to be a consultant in this business, not an agent. I think we mentioned that last week. That's the reason why even if you decide to use other systems like the flyer, the questionnaire, these are good systems. These are amazing systems, but you are not meant to stay on it. You are not meant to stay for it, or maybe on it for 3 months. To me, it's not reasonable. Anybody sharing flyer for 3 months, 6 months. Well, consistency is good, but not up to that extent. All right. You want to get out of the field so that you can sit down and make your bookings. That is what is important. Now, people struggle financially, like I said, because they want to skip the law of process. They want to get rich quick. They skip the law of process. They undermine little beginnings. And guess what? The mundane abhors. They abhor the mundane because, when you come to the part of wealth creation, sometimes it can be somehow mundane. Repeatedly, certain things you do, it's a ritual. And once it's a ritual, it means it's like a repeated, systematic kind of activity. So sometimes it can get you bored. But let me tell you what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go through that boredom and guess what? And break through. All right. Now, this contact recommendation system, I want to tell you something. The mastermind is going to be running a training on it tomorrow, like I said. But this system is what made even the person speaking to you my humble self, Dr. Omar, one of the systems that, by the grace of God, placed me where I am today in this business. It is the same system that has risen, in fact, most of the leaders, in fact, not most, all the leaders, all the top leaders you know in 381 family. This is the system that gave birth to their achievement or whatever they've achieved. In fact, more than 90%, if not close to that or more, of what it must have achieved has come from contact recommendation. Most of the top leaders, in fact, all the top leaders you would know under the 381 family. All right. And it's one of the systems, sometimes many other teams play with it, but it's one of the systems, like I said, that helped the 381 family became outstanding. All right. And I also want to tell you this. For me, I did it. I gave you, if I'm going to recap on what I did last week, I told you, I know, was it last week or this week? It's this week. It's this week on Monday. What I did this week, I told you that I did this for how many months? I did this for 5 to 6 consecutive months without any distraction. And that's the big difference between me and most people who are using the contact recommendation today. I did this because I didn't have the privilege for any other system. Number one, I was working in a place where there was no other system I could use. I was having a job that I could, please, let's pay attention, please. I was having a job that could not have permitted me to go out and do the flyers or do any other thing. I was having a job that wouldn't have permitted that, being a doctor and working in a company that was so tight. So there was no way I could talk about flyers. There was no way I could talk about questionnaires. There was no way I could talk about even the home lunch. I never thought of it because I didn't even know much about it. So the first for me was, it is either I succeed with contact recommendation or I fall out of the business. So I stayed on it, even when it was not working, in quote, when it wasn't working for me, I stayed on it and I kept on mastering it. But the good news is you don't have to stay that long, all right, because a lot of strategies have been put in place. I'm going to be sharing some with you that will help you shorten the learning curve. It's part of the essence of today's meeting, all right? So stay in carefully till the end. Now, also, I want to tell you this, that I want to bring this to your understanding with regards to the power of contact recommendation, how powerful the system is. But I'm laying the foundation so that you pay careful attention to the mastermind when he's speaking tomorrow. Now, I want to tell you something. If you have, hello, if we're going to say hi, if you have, let me tell you how easy financial freedom can be in this business, or how simple, rather, not easy. Let's not confuse ease with simplicity. How simple it can be to become financially free in this business. And let me also use this to explain the power of contact recommendation. If you have 6 persons, how many persons? 6. If you have 6 persons, because this is a business of leverage, you can make a lot of money you alone, but you will definitely make more when you carry your team along. That if you have up to 6 persons in your team that can book, but not only can book, but are consistent in doing a reasonable number of booking daily. The truth about it is this: you have no reason not to make 1 million naira at the end of the first month. But even if you don't make it at the end of the first month, it is very, very much possible in the second month. And if you don't on the second month, then the maximum should be on the 3rd month. What it means, if you have how many persons? 6 persons in your team. I'm not talking about making money here. I'm not talking about making 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, 500. These are good money. These are nice money. These are good, amazing amount of money people can make, and they can be so happy. But the target is to become not just a millionaire, but help others become a millionaire. Now let's start with you becoming a millionaire. If you have 6 persons who can make call in your team, and you can regulate them eventually, effectively, and they can do this call well with discipline and consistency, and they can do a reasonable number daily, and they have a minimum number and a very reasonable minimum number, and they do this consistently daily. Now let me tell you what will happen. You will make 1 million in your first month, but even if you don't, you will make it by the second month. But on the bad case scenario, if you don't do it on your first and second month, then you make it on your 3rd month. We're talking about how many persons again? I'm talking about 6 persons. And I can bet you even less. Even less. Now it will now depend on the number. So what is a reasonable number? Please, can anybody tell me what is a reasonable number? Let me get this over here. How many of us know how to book? Please, you know how to make contact recommendation call? Just indicate. Please, I want to know those. If you know you've ever made call, you know how to make call. Please, can I not? Please, I'm not talking about know how to make call with your phone. Everybody know how to make call, dial number with your phone. I'm not talking about dialing number on your phone, but knowing how to make the booking call and this business. Please raise the hand. It's a survey. Or I think the survey should be those that cannot make call. Let me know those that can't make call. Please let me know those that can't make call. Please let me know, please. Just raise your hand. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have just 5. So you're going to learn it eventually, okay? That is it. But it's good. I'll tell you congratulations. Please let's tell them congratulations. Now the congratulations for you is, well, you got the privilege from your leader to be here. Ordinarily, this training was not really meant for you. But the advantage for you now is you're going to be learning this even before before you start making calls. So which means you don't even need to go through most of the mistakes. Most of those people who raise their hand will go through. If you are very smart with what I'm about to teach you. All right. Some things might look confusing to you, but stay in. The T's will cross themselves and the I's will dot themselves as you move on. So congratulations to you, because you might not necessarily need to make most of the mistakes other people will make. And I advise you, make sure you don't miss tomorrow's training. Tomorrow's training by night. It's strictly on Zoom. We won't have this physical encounter. It's strictly on Zoom at night by the mastermind. All right. And of course, those who are going to be checking it on that channel, on the YouTube channel, you check it so that you can also benefit from it. Now, I said if you have 6 persons, now I want to give you the power of the figures. Now the question will now be, first of all, what is a reasonable number of booking? If anybody is going to be booking on the day and you say this is a reasonable number, at least to book on the day, please can anybody tell me what would you call a reasonable number? What do you think is a reasonable number? 20. What do you think is a reasonable number? 20, 15, 15. Okay, Haja said 15. We'll book 15. Okay, Haja said 20. What do you think, Mr. Prosper? 35. Okay. Who else is going to give it a try? Please, you are entitled to your opinion. What do you think is a minimum? 30. Now let me tell you this. Now, this is where I'm going to do a careful analysis. Are we together? Let's do the analysis. Remember, I said that if you have how many persons? 6 persons in your team who know how to make this call, and they do a reasonable number consistently, you can make your first 1 million in your first. You can make your 1 million in the first month of seriousness with contact recommendation. But if you don't do it in your first month, you can make it the second month. Otherwise, at most, if you stretch it, then the third month you should be able to make it. I mean, maybe your first month you didn't make 1 million, you can make maybe 200, 300, whatever. Maybe your second month you might make up to 500,000 or more. Then by your third month, you should be able to make something more reasonable. But that will only be on the ground that the number is reasonable and there's consistency. The essence why you see most of these things come up, like the mastermind booking challenge, this challenge, that challenge, book so for so days, and get so amount. And I set the challenge, and the mastermind said, okay, book so number. I think it was a day, so he set it as 10, minimum of 10 or something, and do it for 6 days, and then you get how much was that? 50,000, something like that, or 100,000, or 20,000, 25,000, 50,000. Now the essence of it is to teach you consistency. That's the essence of it. You're booking, you're doing this for yourself, but to teach you consistency. Now, when I asked what was a reasonable number, I got different responses. Somebody said 10, somebody said 35, somebody said 20. You are entitled to your own opinion, but let's put it to careful analysis. Let me share my screen so that those on Zoom can follow me now. All right, I didn't prepare a slide for this. What I prepared. Follow me carefully. I'm opening the calculator. Good. So I'll share a screen so that those on Zoom can follow me. Okay, good. Now this is the question now. If you are working, please, I believe most of us have worked on a job, isn't it? Okay. Mr. Prosper, have you worked on a job before? Have you worked on a job before? You never worked on a job. You worked on a job. Okay, good. Let me just what job was that? Please, can you come forward, please? Just come, or just let me hear you. Can you be audible? Okay, aluminium profile. Okay, fine. But please don't feel embarrassed with my questions. I want to teach somebody something. All right. And a lot of us, like for me, I work. Let me teach you. Let me tell you about my job. I worked as a vet doctor in a breeder farm. That was the last place I worked. You're all aware of that, isn't it? Good. How much was the salary? 102,000 after deduction from 123,000. All right, after the increment and everything. Now that was my salary as a doctor. And can anybody guess what was the duration of the work? Minimum of 8 hours. Let me tell you the truth. That job was, I won't say 24 hours job, but it was a 12 to 16 hours job, but sometimes can extend to 24 hours. Anybody that has worked in a breeder farm will understand it. During brooding period, it's a 24-hour job. But during, other times, you can downplay it down even to 10 hours. All right, but most times the minimum of 10 hours. All right, especially for you as a supervisor, minimum on the worst case, on the best case scenario, 10 hours. All right. Now, it wasn't about my being on the job. It wasn't about the hours. And I want to let you understand this. Companies don't care about the hours most times. What they really care about is the productive hours. Smart entrepreneur, that's what they do. That's what companies do now. So you worked on a job. So I've just told you my job. Now, why did I tell you that? So that you don't feel embarrassed with what I'm asking you. I just want to use it as a kind of a case study for people to understand. All right. I had a very, very tedious job. So you did a million profile. When did you resume? When did you start the job? No, I mean, when do you resume? 8 o'clock to close when? 8 to 6, that's how many hours? Okay. That's about 11 hours or 10 hours. Okay. 10 hours. Okay, good. Now I want to ask a question. 10 hours. And then would you permit me to ask how much was the salary? Are you still on the job now? And so you picked it up. It means you find something better. Why did you leave the job? Because of this business? Okay, the job was stressful. And then you find the one that wasn't stressful. And which one is that? This business. Okay, so tell me, how much was the salary? 40,000. Wow, that was a good one. Okay, fine. The job was stressful. Okay. Now this is the kind. So for 10 hours, is it a field job or is it an office job? Is it a job you do hands on deck on the field, or is it an office work you sit and on the office? Okay, loading on the truck and all that. Okay, fine, good. Now this is it. Now are we together? Listen carefully. Now, if you're on a job 10 hours and you get paid 40,000, I was on a job 12 hours, more plus or minus, and I get paid 100 or just over, slightly over 100,000. Some people get maybe probably more, but with more excruciating job description, and as the case may be. That is, I am working for someone. That is, you are working for someone. If you can do that for someone, the question will now be, what are you willing to do for yourself? Are we together? The question would be now, what are you willing to do for yourself? Now let's take the analysis here. The analysis here is, some of you put call across to maybe Glow customer care, MTN customer care, or as the case may be. Have you ever called them one day and they pick your call immediately? Most time when you call them, what happens? Okay, they put you on hold, and then they are playing music, and then they are doing advertisement and all that. They are doing their promo on your ear. All right, but at least the call is free, isn't it? It's a free call. But the idea is, do you know why they put you on hold? Why do you think they put you on hold? You want to make a complaint, you have a complaint to make, but they put you on hold. Why do they put you on hold? Because the person that is supposed to attend to you is what? Is probably attending to someone else. Did you get what I'm saying? The person that is supposed to attend to you is busy attending to someone else. It's not deliberate. And most of these guys run what we call shift. Maybe morning and night shift, or maybe morning and afternoon, evening shift, or as the case may be. Now, whatever hours they are spending on their job, maybe 6 hours, maybe 8 hours, maybe 10 hours, I wouldn't know. But you know one thing I can tell you, they stay on that productively. It's not about them coming to the Glow office or to resume work. It's about what they do when they come. And it will interest you to know, some of them have not a minimum of 8 productive hours. A minimum of how many what? 8 productive hours. It can be that bad. But let me give you another example. Another example, it means what? What does that tell you? Somebody can be on the call for the next 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. He's on call. Because immediately he's done with you, there's another call piled up in the system. He goes to the next. Immediately he's done with you, he can spend 30 minutes with you. So we're not talking about the numbers. It's not about the numbers of people he called that day. It's about the hours on call. Once he's done with you, he moves to the next call. Once he's done with you, he moves to the next call. Once he's done with that person, to the next. Now, most times when you go to the banks, especially more recently, did you observe what happens in the bank? It's a tactical way to even detail you so that you should go and learn how to use your bank app. But when you go to the bank, there's always these people who attend, especially on the complaint session or customer whatever session. Maybe sometimes now these days you see that they are just maybe maximum of 2. Most times. Best case scenario, you see them maybe 2. You hardly see 3. Now, when you go in, you wait outside, they sit you outside, isn't it? And then you finally get inside, you still come and sit inside sometimes. Is that correct? Yeah. Good, you sit inside, you wait, and finally you have this attention. Now, I know you are frustrated, you don't like such. That's why many times you don't want to go to the bank. For me, I avoid it as much as possible. Now, the idea is this. I want you to consider that person that is attending to you. When does that person resume? When does the bank open? 8 o'clock. When does the person close? Well, that's what you think. Normal operation, attending to you, ends by 4. But they don't close by 4. Let me tell you the truth. I have friends who are banker who are work in the bank, and guess what? Some of them don't come back until about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Some of them even go beyond that. That's the truth. All right. So it's almost a 12-hour job, but with a minimum 8 to 9 productive hours. Please, are you following me? Why I'm doing this careful analysis is because if I don't do this, if I don't teach you this, whatever the mastermind might teach you tomorrow, you might take it for granted. You won't understand the value. I want you to understand the value of what you're about to learn tomorrow. So that immediately you get the knowledge, you swing into action. By the next couple of months, guess what? Nobody sees your back. You're long gone. A minimum of 8 productive hours. Because look at what is happening. As you are, in fact, you know most of these jobs, let me even tell you the point. For most of these jobs, as you step in 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, you are not even expected to even go in with your phone. You are expected to what? You are ostracized. You are expected to stay away from your phone. Check those people who work in some of these amazing, I think I can mention them. Have you seen, I have friends who work in places like, does anybody have, in fact, even the schools in town now, I was working with a teacher and I told her, man, you can do this business even from your place. He said, no, you won't understand. These days they brought a new policy, and if we want to resume, we keep our phones. The teachers are not even allowed, especially in some of the private schools in town. Please, is this true? Yes. It's a fact. You're not allowed to go in with your phone. You're expected to keep it so that you can pay attention to the kids. You know, the proprietors are smart. You know, these days of social media, first the time you're supposed to teach the student, maybe the idea might just be maybe people spend it, wasting time chatting and all that. So they don't want that, probably. Well, but the idea is this: they want productive hours, not just you coming to resume the job, but you being productive is the mission. So name it. Most jobs are like that. Even the bankers, do you know it's like that? Are you aware? Even some of the hospitals and many places. Now, why are these policies? The only reason is just because they don't just want hours. It's not about hours. It's not about how long you spend on the job. It's not about how long you spend in this business. Like I mentioned on Monday, days back, I said, it's not about how many years you spend. It's not like in the school of aviation, when you finally become a pilot, or as the case may be. You see, you are not graded as a pilot by how many hours you spend on flight, by how many years you spend on being a pilot. That's not what matters. Oh man, I've been a pilot for 10 years. Nobody cares. I've been a pilot for 15 years. Wow, 15 years. Nobody cares. You are graded on the number of hours in what? In flight. That's what matters. Hours in flight. You have been a pilot for 15 years, but you fly maybe once in a month. Another person has been a pilot for just 1 year, and he flies nearly every week. In fact, 2-3 times every week he's flying. And guess what? He's always on air. Maybe sometimes it goes on 17 hours, 10 hours, 1 hour, as the case may be. His hours are being calculated. 10 years down the line, maybe you have 500 hours. But guess what? 2 years down the line for that person, he has 3 times that number of hours. He's a more experienced pilot than you are. So it's not just about your years of being in the business, it's about your hours in flight. Now, what is the idea here? It's about the productive hour. Now, I want you to put an imagination. The guy that is attending to you in the bank, on the customer care, is attending to you, is attending to someone else, is attending to people from 8 o'clock till about 4 o'clock. And after then, he's doing checks and balances and all that. Now, what has he been doing? He has been busy on the grind, doing those productive activities that matters to the job description. And that is it. Now, the idea here, why am I mentioning this? Is because when you learn how to book, it's not about knowing how to book. Man, how many people can book? I raise my hand, I can book. It's not about I've been in the business for that long or I know how to book. It's about how many bookings have you done? How many contact lists have you booked? How many hours do you do this booking daily? It's not about coming to the office. Okay, I came to the office, I came in the morning, I'm a full-timer, I come in the morning, and then I close in the night, and guess what? In fact, I spent 12 hours. It's good. Kudos. Congratulations. But the truth about it is this: what matters more is how many of that hours, from that 12 hours you spent, you came by 8 o'clock and you closed by 8 o'clock in the night. Of that 12 hours you spent, maybe 1 hour plus is for maybe cell meeting, but how many of the hours was for prospecting? How many of the hours was for the booking? How many of the hours was for the productive activity? These are the questions you need to ask. Now, I want to give you this analysis carefully. Please look at this. If you sit down to book for 1 hour, how many should you expect to book? For those that know, I'm talking about those that know how to book. On an average, 1 hour, how many are you looking at booking in 1 hour? Pardon? Somebody say 10, somebody say 15. Let's take on a minimum case scenario. In 1 hour, you can book 10. But the truth about it is this: in 1 hour, you can actually do more than that. Is that true? Yeah, you can do more than that. All right. But when you talk about follow-up, sometimes it might extend. But if you're talking about fresh booking, within an hour, you can book more than that. But let's take on a case scenario that in 1 hour, your booking is not that, you are just starting. But in 1 hour, you can only book a maximum of 10. So we could still take it that in 2 hours, you can book how many? Then it means if you sit for 3 hours, you can do how many? 30. Now this is the analysis. Okay, Mr. Musa, you've worked on a job before. Okay, is it as excruciating as Mr. Prosper's own? Oh, it's more than. Your job was how many hours? 12? 12? Wow. Was the salary big? How much was it? 25? 25K. Okay, fine. If you are going to employ, someone employed you 12 hours, 25,000, fine. But I hope you're not doing that job again. Good. That's the joy of this project. You set your mind. So if you're going to employ someone, and I want you to put yourself in an imagination, please, this is a careful analysis. That's why I opened this calculator. I hope it's on the screen. Yes, good. That's why I opened that calculator. Careful analysis. Mr. Musa, you're going to employ someone to work for you now. And that person is going to be your employee. If this person is your employee, I think employee is one that is working for the employer, right? Good. The person is your employee, and you're going to be paying that person a salary of, no, not 25,000 now. Let's say you're paying that person, let's say 4 times that amount. That's how much? 100,000 naira. Mr. Musa, you're going to be paying that person 100,000 naira. But actually, that 100,000 naira, of course, it has to come from the result, isn't it? You're not going to be paying, you're not going to do Santa Claus, Abi. You're not going to do, is it Father Christmas, they call it, Abi? And you won't do that. You won't give just the pedation and all that. No, you won't do that. So it means you're going to be giving out from, if you are employing someone and you want to pay the person 100,000 naira, 100,000 naira monthly, not daily, monthly, how much of bookings would you expect from that? First of all, how many hours would you expect that person to work for you? You are paying the person 100,000, and if anything you make from this business, that's what you're going to take out and pay the person. 100,000 naira per month. How many hours? First of all, let's agree on the hours. How many hours would you expect that person to work? When will the person resume and when will the person close? I'm talking of you. Please, you're entitled to your opinion. It's your opinion. Okay, you expect 8 hours. Okay, good. 8 hours every day. Fine. Now, but you're going to give the person 100,000. Or do you want to? Do we agree on that? 8 hours, good. But no, please, I want you to be very sincere. You employed someone. I'm not talking about by imagination. Of course, it's by imagination, but I want you to put it from a perspective of sincerity. So 8 hours, right? Is it 8 hours? Did you hear what he said now? He said minimum. Meaning there's a, so what's the maximum? Okay, fine. Let's say 8 hours. Now, in 8 hours, how many would you expect? What would be the person's work is to book. His major description, all right? There might be little things here and there, but the primary description, 90% of his activity should focus on making that call. So if the person is going to be making the call for you, please, how many confirmed calls would you expect as a minimum in a day? So the person has, if you're going to give that person 100,000 naira, that person has to do, he said the person should do a minimum of how many for him? 50 every day. So we should be looking at the maximum of how many? Between 50 and 100 calls, or the minimum of 50. Okay? That's your own opinion. Mr. Prosper, yeah, you worked on a job before. So let me hear your own opinion. You're going to be paying a person 100,000 naira, and this person is going to be working in strict job description, strictly booking. So how many hours? It might not necessarily be the same with Musa. Yours might be less, yours might be more. This person, you are giving the person 100,000. I want you to know what 100,000 is to you now from your business. From your own business, you are taking 100,000 to give this person. So how many hours will the person work? 12 hours. Okay, fine. That's your own opinion. That's your own business design. But how many calls would you expect minimum? 150 calls. So Mr. Prosper said, if I'm going to pay you 100,000 now for my pocket, man, my 100,000 is precious. You're going to work 12 hours for me. I'm going to pay you. I'm going to pay you 100,000, and you're going to book a minimum of how many? Actually, how many hours are you looking at? If the person is going to work, have you started booking? Do you know how to book yet? Have you learned how to book? Okay, you are still coming up. Have you learned how to book? Okay, if you're going to employ a person to work for you, how many hours? Let's agree on the hours. How many hours minimum? 16 hours. So for 100,000, no, wait. You see, you are laughing. He's entitled to his opinion. That's his business design. It's a job. If you don't want it, what do? You go. And trust me, if he's paying 100,000, trust me, there are people lined up waiting for the job. Are you aware? You see, sometimes you underestimate what you have. You underestimate what you have sometimes. I asked someone, I was interacting with someone, the person told me that he was working in Guarimpa, and the person was living from Suleja here, and was going to Guarimpa every day for 6 days. He said he sells, and I asked him, when do you resume? He said, I have to be there latest 9 o'clock. And that consideration is maybe because she's coming from a distance, but latest by 9, she should be there. I said, when do you close? She said the best case scenario is 6 o'clock. Now, that's 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Then I asked, how much is the salary? And she told me, I think, was it 25,000 or something? Now pay attention. In fact, this was an interaction I had with someone, and this was not long ago. I think that was yesterday. And the leader is here, he will picture what I'm saying. The leader was there. I said, how much were you making? He said 25,000 per what? Per week or per day? He said per month. I said, okay, good. I said, but that 25,000, was it? Were they giving you transport, or your transport was inside? He said, no, that they don't give out transport. That part of it. I said, how much was your transport? She said it was 250. Is it 200 or 250, something like that? How much? You have to verify how much. I think she told me 200 or 250, something like that. 250, right? So she says 250 now. So 200 is how much? 500 now. So I did the math. I said it means you're going to be spending more than half of that money for transport. At the end of the month, you might just have maybe less than 10,000. Is that correct? She said, yes. I said, are you still on the job? She said, no. I said, why did you stop the job? I don't need to mention her name to avoid this, but I'm just giving you the analysis. Why did you stop the job? She said, because it's too stressful. And also, of course, I said you should have even stopped it more, especially now, because now I don't think Tuguarimpa is 250 again. How much is Tuguarimpa now? Some say 400, some say 300, depends. So it means, therefore, if she was still working by now, what would have happened? It means she will be working for the transport, isn't it? Good. So that's why this is a business design. It's not, I don't know, but immediately she left the job. What do you think? Don't you think someone else has taken the job? Obviously, yes. And doing a careful analysis so that we understand this thing. So, Mr. What's the name, please? Mr. Balogun said, if I'm going to pay you 100,000 naira from my pocket, because 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock is how many hours already? That's 9 hours. 9 hours. And the person is receiving 25,000. So, if I'm giving you 100,000 for 16 hours, I mean, you see, you are smiling, but I mean, that's his business design. But understand that I'm heading somewhere. So 16 hours. Then if that person is going to be booking for you, how many bookings would you expect to be confirmed in a day? You are paying the person 100,000 in a month, 100K. And this person is going to work for you for 16 hours. So you should confirm how many bookings? Minimum. Minimum of 200. That's Balogun's business design. If I'm going to give you 100,000 for my pocket in a month, man, you should confirm up to 200 bookings for me. And I think it's possible. If 1 hour you can do 15, it means in 10 hours you can do 150. And you're on a 16 hours job. Let's say you have some break. All right. So it's possible. But the idea here is this. The idea is this. Mr. Balogun, what is the maximum you ever booked for yourself in a day? I know you want to become a millionaire, isn't it? You want to become a multi-millionaire. You want the company to pay you how much per month? 1 million naira, isn't it? Isn't it? Is it not 1 million? You want to make a minimum of 1 million. So you want the company to pay you 1 million per month, isn't it? You want the person to, oh, more than. You want to make, how much do you want to make? Tell me, from this business. I know there's no limit to the maximum, but minimum, 1 million. Minimum, 1 million. You want to make up to 1 million? No, you're entitled to it. But the question will now be, I want you to be honest. What is the maximum you booked in a day? You ever booked in a day? The maximum you ever did, confirmed bookings you ever did in a day? 15. Okay. You try. What's the maximum you ever did in a day? 29. Okay. What's the maximum you ever did in a day? 10. Okay. The maximum you've ever done? 10. Now, the question will now be, if you are to pay yourself based on your current performance now, I'm not even talking of the maximum now. I'm talking of what you've been doing for booking in the last 1 month. In the last 1 month, total your number of bookings. If you are to pay yourself as an employee, how much would you pay yourself at the end of the month? Based on the standard you just set. 13,000. Okay, 12,000. How much in the last 1 month, based on the bookings you've done? If you are to pay yourself based on the standard you set, how much would you pay yourself? 80,000. But you say you're going to be paying, okay, 80,000. No, the bookings, confirmed bookings you've done. Yes, we're talking about bookings here. If you have to pay yourself based on the bookings you've done for the last 1 month, based on the standard you set. Based on the standard you set, yeah, how much do you think you deserve? 30,000. Are you sure of that? Okay. It's not up. Okay. Now, do you understand it now? Now, the idea is we underestimate what we have. Have you tried to imagine what you are doing to make money? For many of you, If someone is to employ you and give you the same thing you are told to do, trust me, you'll be performing more optimally than you are doing currently. If someone is to employ you and say, look, Mr. Musa, this is your job, and that person is going to pay you 25,000 naira per month. I'm not talking about 100 now. So for 25,000 naira per month on a job, or 25,000 naira per month, many of you will not confirm less than 50 bookings for that person. Am I saying the truth? For many people that will go on that job, I know many of you will not go on that job, but for those of you that will go on the job, man, a bird at hand is worth 10 in the bush. Some of you that will go on the job, okay, you go for that for 50,000. You're going to be on a job of 50,000, and the job is going to be 8 hours. You will do more than what you are doing currently. Now, let me tell you one thing that is happening. The only reason why we are dragging in our success is simply because most people are not willing to participate in their own rescue. It's natural. People naturally are not willing to participate in their own rescue. We are already used to, most times, the idea of someone has to police me. Someone has to thoroughly regulate me. There have to be consequences. It has to be that if you don't do this, or that's the reason why when you see people who rise in this business and become successful, they will only rise because of the level of hunger. It's not an issue of how much they are being pushed. It's an issue of how much they are willing to push themselves to do it, the level of hunger and the willingness to do productive activities. And that's the reason why. What are you willing to do for yourself? Because finally now, you've joined network marketing. You are now part of the Labona that project. And guess what? You've been taught finally how to book. This is your opportunity to make money. This is your opportunity to become great. This is your opportunity to what? To climb to the peak. You need to get 6 persons in your team that know how to book, for example. Or it starts from you doing it and mastering it. But guess what you're going to do? Because you have the freedom, and that's your disadvantage. It's not your plus, it's not your advantage. Man, time freedom. That's your disadvantage. The freedom you have is your disadvantage, because why? Look at what happened. Now you have this freedom. If you book or you don't book, what happens? Nothing. If you do the needful or you fail to do the needful, nothing will happen. Nobody's going to beat you. Nobody's going to flog you. Nobody's going to sanction you. Nobody's going to do anything. If you are so fortunate to have a mentor that puts you on your toes and tells you, man, if you don't book, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. If you are very, very fortunate, because most people are not as fortunate as that. If you are so fortunate to have a mentor that is on your neck and makes you do it by thunder, by fire, by blood, by water, by everything, then you are very lucky. And because of that, you are doing it. Count yourself lucky. But most times, your mentor will not do that, because, I mean, we're dealing with a mature person here. He's going to encourage you, he's going to motivate you, but he can't sanction you. So the idea is we do less. That's what is happening. Let me teach you how powerful contact recommendation is. If you have 6 people that can book, a minimum of, let's say, 20. How many? 20. If you have 6 people that can book even a minimum of 20 every day, but the idea is about consistency. How consistent are you going to be with this? So 6 people that can book a minimum of 20, this is the math. 6 times 20 is how many? No, 6 times 20. 6 times 20 is 120, right? Good. Let's do the math for the sake of 120. 6 times, sorry. 6 times 20 is 120. Confirm. Now, if you have 6 times 20, it simply means, let me tell you how feasible this can be. Yes, 6 times 20 is 120. Now, if you have 6 people that can book, let me include yourself. That will make it how many now? 140. Okay. 140. And you do this consistently. You made up your mind. Anybody that want to get up across and, from the primary of challenge 36, look at it. 6 of you, our target is to leave the primary. Let's move it. And guess what? You add yours. 140. And you do that, it means in a day you already leveraging. You're already having 140 persons who are confirmed to attend your meeting. That's just what it means. That's what it means. So 140 persons attending your meeting, if you multiply these times, this is in a day, right? So in a week, We multiply it times how many? Somebody told me times 6. Now so that there will be 1 day rest. Let me tell you something. That's laziness. It's the truth. You are still rising in this laziness. How many hours does it take to book train? See, let me tell you something. Just do your business for 3 hours. Sit down for just 3 hours. After you are done, run away. I challenge anybody here. Don't do full time. Don't do full time. It's a challenge to you. Don't come to the office in the morning and close at night. You don't need that. Let me tell you what you need. Just find a place to sit down for 3 hours. And when you are done with this activity for 3 hours, run away. Please, are we together? Do this for 3 hours. Sit down for 3 hours. Make the call. Start by 8 or maybe 9 o'clock. By 12, once you are done, run away. If a person gives you such a job description and tell you 3 hours is what you work for me every day, or come in by 8 o'clock and close by 12 o'clock, but it's 7 working days, won't you accept it? It's okay. It's 4 hours job. Come by 8, do your sales meeting for 1 hour, book for 3 hours, and forget about it. You are done for that day. Anything you want to do, go and sit down at home and enjoy yourself. Come by 8, do your sales meeting, sit down for 3 hours, book, and leave the office. I challenge anybody that does this. You are far better than even someone who will come and stay for the whole of the day. It's the truth. Because this is something we're talking about booking 20. In 3 hours, I think we can book 20 in 3 hours, isn't it? Actually, more than that. So the idea is this. If you have this, you're already leveraging. The idea is 140. So for a day, for a week, we're looking at times how many days? Good, times 7 days. So we're talking about 980. 980 persons already booked to attend event. 980, that's close to 1,000 persons. Now, what this means is this. Of course, you know, not everybody booked will attend the event, isn't it? Of course, that's true. Now, some of them, and I tell you this, even if your result is as poor as this, if your result is as poor as for every 10 you book, only 1 is attending, you can still break through. You can still break through. Because it's a learning curve. Very soon, for every 10 you book, it will no longer be 1, it will be 2. For every 10 you book, very soon it will be 3, it will be 5, it will be 7. There will be people among those 6 persons who, for every 10 they book, 8 can attend, 7 will attend. But some, for every 10 they book, 1 will attend, 2 will attend. Is that correct? Yes. So we'll take an average that for every 10 they book, 4 will attend. If it is 40%, not even up to 50% result, 40% result, that for every 10 you book, 4 will attend, that is times 40%. 40% is 0.4, is that correct? Times 0.4. And that gives how many? 392. So the assumption here is that 392 persons attending your event. If 392 persons are attending your event, I can put another assumption here, that, and with all fairness, not for every 10 that was booked, for every 10 that attended. I'm not, every 10 that was booked, we're talking about 980 booking. But here, 392. For every 10 that attended, I'm assuming just 1 person signed up, 10% result. 10%. For every 10, only 1 person is signing up. So if we take 10% of this, which is times 0.1 times 0.1, how many is that? It means if 6 persons are serious, take note. Because this is a wake-up call to leaders that even have, some of you have even 10 people that can book in your team, 20 people booking in your team. Some of you have lots of team members. You have 50 people in your team, 30 people in your team, 10 people in your team, 100 people, 200 in your team, 300 in your team. Some of you have 400 in your team. And guess what? You are struggling in the whole 1 week. Even to get 1 sign up, you are struggling. Let me tell you why. Go and check it very well. They are not inviting. They are not doing this thing I'm showing you. Sit down and do the needful. Just 3 hours. Come for 3 hours. Once you are done, don't come and stay in the office. Just come 3 hours, do your booking. Immediately you are done, run away. If your leader complains and tell you, man, you're not staying, come and report to me. I'll tell, and so that show me. Look, I come, I book 20, I run away. The leader says I must report that leader to me. That forces you to stay in the office. After you have booked 20 or 30, you've done the booking within 3 hours. Once you are done, run away. Don't come and stay in the office. Your presence is not what is needed here. What is needed is your productive activity so that you can move. Once you come, do your, my leader said if I come, I should stay. Once you book, what did I say you should do? Go home. Go and stay with your family. Go and enjoy yourself. In fact, go and play football. Just go and do anything. Just go away. Go and do personal development. Go and exercise. Just leave. Go and cook food. Enter the kitchen. Go and just do anything. Leave the office. If you book your 20, just leave. That day you are made. So the idea is we're talking about 39 sign up in how many months? In 1 week. Even if you assume here that, okay, out of all the sign ups, 25% of the sign up is full payment. The remaining 75% is part payment. Do you know what is happening? You have more than enough contacts to book. And this 30, what do you call it? 25% times 0.25 times 0.25. That's 25%, right? That's about 10. 10 of the sign-ups are full payment. Some of them will upgrade, or as the case may be. The rest are part payment. They will still complete it to become full payment. Now, what is the idea here? It means that what? You have no right not to record results. You have no reason not to have a result when you have 6 persons in your team. If you see that you have up to 6 persons in your team, but you are not getting this kind of result, let me tell you why. It is because those 6 persons, either their capacity is low, meaning they don't know how to make calls, they are still growing up, they are coming up, or they have learned it, they are supposed to have a good capacity, but guess what? They are lazy. It sounds harsh, but that's the truth. They are lazy. They're not willing to participate in their rescue. The person who stay in this business, you want to make $1 million, and you don't want to sit down and just do 20 bookings in a day. So that's what exactly happened. This is the max. This is bigger than any home launch and a leader is going to fix. Check it for those of you that did launch, even your mega event. When you do mega events, your mega event comes once in a while, isn't it? Maybe once in 3 months, maybe once in 4 months, maybe once in 5, whatever you do. Your mega event, let's say maximum case scenario, 1,000 people gathered in the hall. Can you compare to this? It's never comparable. This is the mass. This is the mass. And this is your fastest vehicle to financial freedom. And it is heavily duplicable. Most of you did launches. Launches are good. Fix the launches. Leaders will run the launches. But guess what is happening? There is no amount of launch you do. Home launch you do. Home launch is great. It's a good breaker. But there's no amount of home launch you do that will beat this as an individual. Because there's a limit to what you can do. Let's say you do launch every day. You are doing one home launch. And in that home launch, a minimum of 10 people are in that launch. Minimum of 10 every day. It means you have recorded 70 people. You have engaged 70 people in the whole of the week. But you can still not compare it to somebody that engaged over 400 people at the whole of the week. Because it's a numbers game. Please, are you learning something? I take my time for this deep analysis. Please, is there anybody here that will think about booking less than 20 again? Because the mastermind is going to be training you tomorrow. But if he trains you, you get the knowledge and everything, and you still downplay your activity, then it means the knowledge will not help. All right? So the question is this: how many should a serious person book in a day and consistently? What should be the minimum? Don't go less than that. Because we're looking at consistency. For me, the answer to it is this. The answer is the minimum of 20 and above, but pending on your hunger. That's the answer to it. A minimum of how many? 20 and above, but pending on your what? On your hunger for success. It just depends on you. For some of you, you do 10. For some of you, you do 50. Some of you, you do even more. That is the truth. All right. Like we said, most people will not participate in their own rescue, but we do more for jobs. They will do more for validation. They will do more for social validation. They will do more for pride. They will do more for penalties, consequences. That is it. And that's why I gave this analysis. All right. Now, what matters is your productive hours in the business. This is a careful analysis so that you will understand the importance of playing the numbers so that we don't make mistakes in this thing. When you are booking, you are doing it. Now, I have come up with something, an amazing strategy. And this is very, very important. All right. An amazing strategy. And leaders, please note your assignment. Your assignment is this. You have 3 major assignments. All right. The third one, I'll give you the strategy. Please, for leaders who are here, what I mean, who is a leader? A leader, once you have gotten one person in your team, If you have got one person in your team, what are you? Already a leader. You might not be a leader by recognition, by title, by maybe they didn't crown you, imagine. It doesn't matter. Forget about those things. The truth about it is this. Once you already have one person in your business, just one, you're already a leader. Except you don't see yourself. The question will not be whether you see yourself as one. All right. Now for leaders, this is it. You have one responsibility because you already have someone and you have a responsibility towards that person. Now there are three things you're going to do. Your assignment is number one. I've already given this in the accountability session. Number one, for those of you that attended my accountability session, you should know what to do now. Number one is to do what? Everybody that know how to make call in your team, go and get their names. Their names. Let's know them. You can duplicate contact recommendation faster than any other thing. See, if I do a home launch, I can break the ground. If I do a launch for you and you get 3 signups, the ground is broken. But guess what? It doesn't mean that immediately you can start doing that same thing I did. But if I book for you and you get 3 signups, I can immediately teach you and you start booking doing the same thing I did. So it means, therefore, contact recommendation is what? Is faster in duplication than most other systems. All right? That is it. The reason why you take flyer to the street, the reason why you take letters and all those things, the only reason for it is to generate contact and sit as a consultant. Now, I want you to appreciate what you do to make money. What you do to make money, you are a consultant. You sit down in a place and you make the calls, you invite people to the event. That's your job description. That's your most important job description. And it's exciting. It's amazing. It's beautiful. And this is what you're going to do. And guess what? You can become a millionaire. Guess what? This is what you're going to do. And you're going to teach other people to do it. And you can become a multi-millionaire. And you are doing this for yourself. You should be willing to do more for yourself. So the thing is, leader, list out the names of everybody that know how to book. Now, when you have listed down their names, what is the next thing? Make sure you make arrangements. They know how to make the call. Some of them, the reason why they don't make the call is they'll tell you, man, I want to make the call, but I don't have contacts. I don't know anybody. Please, is that an excuse? It's not. It is only an excuse when a person does not know how to go about it. So if you have such a person, what do? Step in as a leader. All right, assist the person. There are many ways you can assist the person. It might be, maybe you organize a home launch for the person as quick as possible. So that once you organize the launch, you just quickly what? Harness contacts. Did you get what I'm saying? You get sign-ups, then their contacts. Contacts come with the sign-up. Unless when I assume there's no sign-up. But guess what you do? You initiate the brand ambassador initiative. You initiate the BAI. And I hope you know the proper way for BAI now, right? The BAI, they are meant to apply for it. All right. You make reference to the mastermind training. It's on YouTube. Somebody posted it on YouTube. So please, I posted the link. All right. It's not my YouTube, but somebody posted that. So make reference to it. We are coming up with a template. Actually, I've discussed something that we're going to come up with a template. Whenever you want to get a person, you decide to get a person into BAI. That template will be there, whereby they will apply. It's a letter. We don't want people writing different type of letters. When you tell them write, they'll just write plenty of things. Some of them will even write and tell you how village people attack them. And we don't want all those things. All right. So we'll just thought we'll come up with a template and there will be blank spaces in the template. All right. The template works this way. The letterhead, that's the address, then the addressee. Address to the mastermind through maybe the MM mentor or through the unstoppable leader, something like that. All right. We end it at the level of the unstoppable leader so that you apply that you are doing what? You are applying so you just fill in your name because of so and so. Okay, I saw the opportunity and I'm willing, to abide by the rules. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to go, blah, 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 blah. We'll just come up with the template. You see the template to be nice. And then you state your predicament. But I saw the opportunity, I caught the vision, but because of this predicament, I couldn't start. I'm soliciting for support. So it means they are the ones who are soliciting for support, all right, to be supported and all that, and blah, 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 blah. Once they've done that, then they sign and all that. Then once they apply, they attach it with their work, with their 100 contact list, or at least how many? 50 contact lists, or as the case may be, they attach it and then they submit it, subject to approval. The essence of it is that they will value it. They will value it. One of the worst things that can happen to anybody that you are running BAI for is when you are doing BAI for somebody and the person thinks that him doing the business is favoring him. I told somebody to compile contact and bring it. He has been posting me and posting me. Then I just sent him a text. And then I told him, I said, okay, well, it was just a privilege I actually gave you. I guess because it came free, that's why you have used it. But I'm withdrawing the privilege. Whenever you have the money to start, go and start. He said, no, sir, it's because of the money. But I told you to compile contact. Why didn't you do it? He said, oh, I didn't know that was what you're talking about. Oh, I'm very, very sorry, sir. In fact, I will compile it and bring it now. Because you know what I had to do? I needed to break that mindset out. Do you know what the worst thing that will happen is somebody you are trying to help, things that is helping you. You can't succeed in the business. When you give somebody BI, who is helping you? Is he helping you or you are helping him? You are helping him. And he starts thinking that, man, they say I should come. Let me just compile. Let me help these people. Let me just give them my contact. Somebody you are trying to help. So that's the essence of this. So we're coming up with that system. So you can get, even if it's BI contact, leaders, there are other things you can do. When you submit letters, when you submit, you apply for launches or you organize launches. Some of you organize launches for yourself. Maybe you submitted a letter and you organized the launch. And in that launch, there were 30 people seated. And when you finished it, guess what? Some part payments, some full payments, some didn't pay. Let me tell you what you do. Harness everybody. If you can get the whole 30 people to submit their contact, do it. But follow the system. Even if, because some of you might just look at the man, 30 contact, what will I do with it? Look at what you do. Go to those your leaders that are struggling to get contacts. If I do a launch for 30 people and I'm able to get 20 contacts, 20, 50 contact lists, and I have, let's say Zainab does not have contact list, and she knows how to book, you know what I will do? That man that submitted that contact list, you know, it's my launch, it's my personal launch. I will give it to Zainab. Take this contact. Look at this person. If you take good care of this person, you book this contact and the result comes out. What happens? It's yours. Take it. So as leaders, you can do this too. It's good. So that contact list can be what? Much available for those who know how to book but don't have contact list. Be on the move of gathering. Be on the move of gathering as many contact lists as possible, so that you can use it to help those who don't have contact. I'm not saying fold your hands and just wait for your leader to give you contact. It's your responsibility, but your leader will support you through it. That is one thing you should do. Another thing again is you can use of course, BI through launches, through flyers. If the person, you want to give the person flyer, but please don't make your team members stay on the street for too long. When they share flyers, they do some level of flyers, they are able to get some people to attend, be there close for them, get contact lists, and then they leave the field. Which one is better? Sitting down to book and going on the street to share flyer, which one is better? Sitting down to book is better. Because the flyer itself, how much do you buy the flyer? Pardon? Oh, 15 naira. And that's cheap, right? Is it not cheap? Oh, it's not cheap. Go and print it and see what will happen. There are printers here. Now the idea is, oh, it's not cheap, Abi. I know why it's not cheap, because the money you are looking at. Now, I'm not talking about printing it. I'm talking about what you are spending to get it. It's expensive. Because you're going to spend 15 naira per flyer. It means if you are getting 100, if you're getting 100 flyers, that's how much? 150 flyers. I mean, 150, how much? 1,500 naira. Then after that, what do you do next after getting the flyer? You enter the street. You must buy pure water, whether you like it or not. Oh, you spend transport. Because sometimes you don't want to share in an area, you want to go to another area. You spend transport, and then you spend energy, isn't it? You buy water. Then after that, what do you do to the flyer after sharing it? Or the questionnaire, what do you do? Then you still book them. The same booking you are running away from. You still come back and book them. And how much do you spend on an average for the call? Is it not the same thing with the normal call? Good. So when you book them, you still do the follow-up, you still do the reminder, and everything you need to do. Now, when you look at it, what did you take it to share 50 flyers? You got someone engaged on BAI, and the person wrote down 50 contacts. Do you know what that just saved you? Do you know what it just saved you? It saved you 15 naira times 50, which is 750 naira. It saved you transport. It saved you the stress. All you need to do is to guide appropriately, get them to send a text message, and then start the booking. That's what you need to do. So that's the reason why, even if a person, the only reason why people love the flyer is because, you know, when you share the flyer, it's my own share. Because when the person sign up, minimum of one account, 20,000 will come to me. So that 20,000 is what keeps them on the field, and they want to get personal, and they stay on the field and they become agent. 6 months, you are still an agent. What a mess. 6 months, you are still sharing flyer. Anybody that is smart, if you share flyer, let me tell you the truth. If you share flyer for more than 3 months, if you do flyer 3 good months, you did flyer for 3 months consecutively, and you are still doing it. Go and check. There's something wrong with that person. It's the truth. You do flyer 3 good months. 1 month you did it. 2 months you did it. It is either that person does not know how to share it, or the person is, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. You have to trace it and know the problem. The essence of the flyer is to what? Get people engaged, get the sign up, and have people to work with, and then you leave the field, and then you become a consultant. That's what you need. All right. So write down their names, list out their names, all the people that can book, and then the next thing is what? Make arrangement for contact for them. Then the third one, please, for leaders, this is very, very important. This instruction is coming from the mastermind. Please, this instruction is coming from the mastermind, and I'm spearheading it. All right, I'm really, really spearheading it. Now, what you do is this. This is you regulate effectively. Make sure they are doing it. Now, sit with them. Know those. Anybody that want to be in Challenge 36 now has to learn how to book, of course, as usual. But please, very, very important. Ensure they have contact lists and ensure they are willing to do this. If they are not willing to do this, please let them be building their business normally. All right, they can still grow, but don't put them in Challenge 36. For all Challenge 36, it is compulsory, it's mandatory, it's not a choice. Now, for those who are coming up, they want to build their business gradually, you can see them through this till they build capacity. Now, this is what you do. You regulate effectively. And how do you regulate? This is the special strategy to help you regulate. The essence of this strategy is to shorten the learning curve. The time is supposed to take for you to become a master. Because in this booking, when you start booking, it's not going to come smooth. There will be some hitch. And that's the essence of the training tomorrow. I am begging anybody here, don't miss that training. You will know what those things that bring about those problems. Why you are not getting results, you will know it tomorrow. All right. That's why I don't want to repeat it. I only prepared the ground so that you know the value of tomorrow. You know why all the time you have been booking. Why is it that when you book, you don't get results? Why is it that when you book, people don't come? Why is it that, and guess what, when you do it 1, 2, 3 days, man, after booking one contact, you try. One contact, no sign up. Guess what do you do next? You jump into, in fact, man, it's like this contact recommendation is not working for me. You run into a flyer. When you do flyer, do it for 3 days. Man, the sun hits you and you start getting black. You see that your skin start changing color. You run out of flyer, you run into another one. You keep jumping pillar to post. The reason why you are not getting those results in contact recommendation is what you are going to be learning tomorrow. All right. But for the regulation, this is what you do. When you make a call, I encourage everybody here, and I'm declaring this, please, everybody get a call recorder app. Get a what? A call recorder app. Now, this call recorder app is good. The idea of it is for you to, every call you make now should be on what? I hope you know when you call Glow Customer Care, is it not on record? They will even tell you that this caller tune is something, you have heard something like that, have you? For is monitored, you have heard that thing, you know what I'm talking about. Now this call is recorded for caller tune, for monitoring, for whatever. But the call is recorded. So you need a call app. You're a consultant. All right? Get a call app. I don't know, you have it? Who has a call app here? A call recording app, I mean. Who has it, please? Who knows? Who has an app that automatically record calls you are making? Please, does anybody have it? Okay, most phones come with it, right? Good. So be sure that your phone has it. If your phone does not have it, then download it. All right? Now, activate it. Put it on, because I know sometimes you have the option to either on it or off it. So activate it, put it on, and then automatically what? Record every call. Now, once you are done, you know these call records are very, very small. The file size are very small. Kilobytes. They are in kilobytes. They are very, very small. Once you are done with your call, the target is to book a minimum of 20, but once you are done with your call, mark all the calls and send it to your leader, to your immediate leader that knows how to make call very well. Because most times when you are making calls, you are not, you see, I want to train 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of them, I'm teaching them how to make call. At that time, I'm teaching them, yes, but when they start practicing, you know, they can't all make call in my presence. because sometimes their voice interrupts one another. Someone has to go there, someone has to go to another office, someone has to go to another place. But the idea why most of you have been, your learning curve have been extended is because when she takes her call to make, I have taught her how to make it. But the truth about it, when she takes the call and she's making the call somewhere, I am not there to see what she's doing. And it means I cannot know whether she's making mistake or not. If she's doing it perfectly well, then thank God. But if she's not doing it well and she's making mistakes, she will have to live with that mistake, stay with that mistake for a very long time. And this is what we want to avoid. That's why when you are making calls, all calls are automatic. Once anybody picks, it's recorded. So you're going to get responses like, man, I'm busy. I'm busy. Call me back. And then you just hear maybe Salama will just shiver. Oh, okay, sir. And this is someone that you taught how to make call. They said, call me back. I'm busy, please. They said, okay, yes, sir. Oh, hello, good morning, sir. Am I speaking to, this is, good morning, what? Sir? You are not aware that's what she has been doing. And then you say, good morning, sir. The person you are calling just automatically takes charge of the call. Okay, yes, can I help you? See, these are mistakes. Mistakes. You finish booking, the person asking, is it networking? Oh, no. Hello. You are recommended to us by Salama. Do you know her? I don't know her. Oh, you don't? Okay. Wrong number. I don't know her. Okay, sorry. And they cut the call. These things are happening in the people that are booking. Mistakes upon mistakes because of lack of what? Experience. So if these calls are recorded, at the end of the day, it is sent to a leader that is very good in call. What does the leader do? He listens to it carefully and can quickly draw the attention of the person and make the corrections. It means anybody that books consistently for 1 week can become a master. It took me months to become a master, months. Maybe probably 3 months. I was booking for 3 months. I was getting results, but the result was improving gradually, but I was learning from mistakes. You don't have to do it for 3 months. Within 1 week, you can become a master because most of your mistakes can be quickly noted and corrected before you waste money, waste contact. Somebody met me recently and she told me, man, sir, I was booking and my airtime got finished. And I said, okay. I said, okay, so what do you want? She said, okay, I just need a little support. So can you help me with that? And I said, okay. How many have you booked? Since you say you were booking, how many have you booked? She said, 1. I said, okay, then go. I said, you booked 1. How many did you confirm? She said, 1. I said, how many did you call? Have you called so far? She said, 50. She called 50 persons, and booked how many? 1. But before that, I asked her, I said, have you asked your leaders for support? She said, yes, they gave me 1,000 naira. And she used the 1,000 naira to book how many people? 50 persons and confirm how many? 1. Now you see, the idea is not about giving support sometimes. The idea is, I am very sure now that there was a mistake somewhere. Did you get the logic? But if those calls were recorded, are you following me? If those calls were recorded, you know what I would have done? I would have listened carefully to it and I would sit the person down, I'll sit him down and I'll tell him, okay, look at the reason why. Okay, look at this person said this, look at what you are supposed to say. This person said this, look at what you are supposed to say. This person said this and you said this, but instead of this, this is what you are supposed to say. Did you get the logic? By the time I do 50 corrections, trust me, the next time she will be making call, it is impossible for her to book 50. I mean, call 50 and book 1. It's impossible. Are you learning something? I only brought that story just to help you understand how important it is for regulation. Because when you teach someone how to book, you are not there. So don't play with this strategy. When you are booking, activate your call record. Everything should automatically record. Please use a call record app that records automatically, because if you decide to start answering call or making call and then you put it on record, most times it signifies. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Some phone does it. Once you put a call on record, it will just signal the phone that this call is being recorded. Did you understand what I'm saying? So you don't do that. what you do is have an automatic recorder that automatically records as you are calling. So once you are done, please don't go and mark the ones that were booked, because some of you, that's how you hide your mistakes. Some people like to hide their mistakes. Then you say, okay, I booked 20. Then you now mark those 20 that you booked and you send it to your leader. But you actually called 50 people and booked 20. What Dr. Umar is interested in, you see, the one you booked, you already succeeded. I'm not interested in that one. The one I'm interested in is that 30. So mark everything, the entire 50, all right, and send to your leader so that he will listen to your especially unsuccessful calls. In fact, if you don't want to even mark up, mark the ones that were headache, those ones that gave you headache, mark it and send it to your leader so that your leader can listen to it. All right. And for leaders, those of you that know how to book, well, good. But please don't just give them answers from initiative. If you are not too sure, please ask me, because some of this is what I'll be doing now. Is in some of the cell meetings and trainings, I will be addressing some of those challenges. All right. That is it. Lots of questions, I'll be addressing them so that people can actually learn and understand it. So that's the regulatory strategy. It is mandatory for everybody in Challenge 36 because we use it to regulate, correct mistakes. Now we also regulate to be sure they did it. Have you seen many people who submit report in Challenge 36 and they tell you how many did you book? They wrote 15. But you know many of them didn't even book anything. Are you aware? Yeah. Some of them just have to tell you that. But now if they send the record, they have to send the record. It means you can be so sure that it was actually done. Because you cannot, there's no way you can book. Today you booked, you recorded a call. Hello, Mark. Am I speaking to Mark? Every day you are speaking to Mark. You cannot send 15 calls. Did you get what I'm saying? Of one person. So the idea is this, we can regulate properly. So please send your calls to your leaders and then we can use it to regulate. Anybody that is not willing to do this, please remove them from Challenge 36. Please, I beg you. All secondary participants, if you have anybody in Challenge 36 that is not doing this is not negotiable for Challenge 36. If they're not doing it, please remove them, let them build the business till they grow capacity. All right? That is very, very, very important. And others will grow as they move on. And I guess this is where we're going to be stopping. This is where we're going to end today's session. I'll lastly say, please don't miss the masterminds training tomorrow night. I'm re-emphasizing it because so that you don't miss such huge information. Call your team members. It's not about you attending. It's how many people from your team that attended. All right. Are you assuring me that you're all going to promote it heavily and drag your team members to attend it? Good. Please do that. All right. And good. Somebody say good news. Now this good news is this. Don't worry. The good news is not the vacation. The vacation. I hope you know that that's one good news. Vacation. When are they going? Good. So that's one good news. And please, anybody that loves those vacations, they will prepare you very well. Eh? They will prepare you. It's not joke. Anything they are posting, in fact, we'll flood the platforms with all those vacation treats, nice treats. They are traveling to Dubai. Is that correct? Yes. Yeah, they're going to Dubai. That's it. So it's an amazing one. Please, I know many of you love vacations. All right. Even me too, I love vacation. But guess what? Vacation is for people that especially who are doing the grind, who will do this, and especially that are also doing their maintenance. All right. Please, if you're not doing your car maintenance, forget that. I advise you ensure that you're consistent in it. Now, the good news here is this: it's not about the vacation now. It's about there's something I'm going to be doing. If you observe, I think it's been a very, very long time when I last did an office presentation. All right, and there's a reason for that actually. But what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be doing office presentation, but not consistently, unannounced. Because most times if I put a fixed date, by the time everybody knows Dr. Omar is presenting every Sunday, you know what people will do? They will hold their contact list, they will not book for another person's event. That's actually the reason why I stopped presenting in the first place. All right? Because when they hold their contact list, they will not book to any event till it's Dr. Umar. So what will happen is this: there's going to be timely presentations, unannounced. And it's not going to be, the good news is that it's not going to be only in suits 7 and 8. All right? Sometimes you just see the announcement. I'll just do it for a team. I might just, okay, for Mr. Innocent office, for Triumphant team, guess what? I am going to be running the presentation for Triumphant team. Don't go and disturb them. The office is not big. So you will not go and be begging them, man, please, can I book to this event? Hey, Dr. Ma is presenting in your office. I'll just announce it in their platform. All right? Any leader that has an office, let me advise you, make sure that your office is functional. You are presenting there every day. Presentations are going on there every day. All right? Very, very important, because I'm in the platform of most of all leaders, but look at what I'll do. I'll just announce it. I'll just, when is the next event? You tell me, okay, you know what? Get your team to book massively. I'm the one running on Thursday event. Whoever is running should just allow me to do it on his behalf. I'm the one running on Saturday event. Okay, Mr. Ahmed, when is your next event in your office? Okay, Mr. Chris, when is your next event? I'm the one running it. So I'm going to be having these pockets. And for me to effectively do this, I'm going to turn down lots of launches, most of those home launches and all that. Please keep running the home launches. All right, but if you see me not running that, it is because I want to do these pockets of what? Activities in individual offices. In fact, I will even downplay it. In my own office, I might not run much. I'm talking of a suite 31. I don't know. Did I say suite 31? Suite what? Not suite 31. Suite what? 7. Suite 7 and 8. All right. I'm not running it in suite 7 and 8. It will be very rare. I might just do it, but it will not be so common. All right. We'll just have pockets of. So it means, therefore, any leader that is not active in their office, meaning they are not doing their activities, they are not running presentations, they will miss in it. Or maybe the leader will say, man, my generator goes, if I know that your generator is bad, you refuse to fix it. It's not me that will come and be running presentation in your office. And at the end of the day, NEPA will just take light and heat will just finish me and the people that I'm presenting to. So I will not even fix it for you. So go and get your office to a good standard so that once I announce it, you just announce it to your team, high octane bookings, and then I'll be doing it time to time. In a week, I will always have this rotation. All right, I'll just have it time to time, at least for some time. All right, that is it. But it will be lesser even for suite 7 and 8, because I know people love to book here, but unfortunately, I won't be having that. I'll be having it in your offices. It therefore means any leader that gets his office to standard will win more. Even if it's one leader that the office is to standard, because you know a lot of you are enjoying the benefit of suite 7 and 8, so you don't want to get your office to the fullest standard. Let me just tell you what happens. If one person gets his office to standard, you know what I will do? You will be seeing me there. And I will expect that the only code that should be there is for that team. Please, did you just get the information? So let's go back, do our homework so that we can actually benefit from this. All right. Do we have any questions or concern? Let me take the next 5 minutes to take some questions. Please, constructive ones. All right, especially with regards to what we've done. Maybe related to bookings and all that. Yes. Okay, do that quickly.
Call recording. How about if you have a person that knows how to do that, the person is between, the person will have a number smart to record. How can that person submit?
Okay, I get it. You said if you have a person that is booking, but does not have an Android to, let me advise what you do for that person. What you do for such a person, the person has a phone, but not a phone that has the capacity to record call. All right, let the person book in your presence. So you take the pay. Because the person is still an analog. You know this digital age, Abby? This jet age or computer age or whatever you call it. So if the person decides not to have an Android phone, then the only thing we can do to help him is to remain in the analog way. Depending when he's able to build capacity and go. Do you understand it? So the person sits down and do it, and you verify it, so that you can correct mistakes. In fact, the most important thing is correcting the mistakes. Then secondly, also to regulate. All right, that's what you do. Okay, all right. Let me hear your question. Please, those on Zoom, you can also write your questions on the chat box. All right, write it on the chat box, or you can just raise your hand. I'll give you an opportunity. No, don't write. Just raise your hand. I'll give you an opportunity to speak so that others can hear it. All right, but you can also write if you feel like. Okay, Aja, let me hear your question. Good question. He said, what about those for the meeting of tomorrow, 8 o'clock in the night? What about those that don't have smartphones? They cannot join Zoom. Remember, we're in which age now? Which age are we? We're in which economy? Connected economy. It's not my fault. It's not the person's fault. It's not your fault. No problem. And we're not going to blame God for it. We're not blaming anybody. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is connected age. The person decided to remain in the industrial age. Maybe you still want to be writing letters and be posting to post office. No problem. We'll pardon the person, but what the person needs to do is he should go and look for somebody that has an Android phone. Do you understand? That's what I would advise, because I will not advise you to miss the training. So I don't have an Android phone. Maybe you stay close to someone that has an Android phone, or maybe your mom's phone or your dad's phone or your brother or sister's phone. All right, go and recharge data on that phone and use it. But the person is a warning signal now, it's a red light for the person to quickly get phone. If a person does not have a phone, he can start doing the business, all right, and then build capacities. So you have a phone. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if a person does not have a phone, he should go and look for a person. Because I don't know, me, I respect family time a lot. You understand? I don't intend to be here by 8 o'clock in the night. You understand what I'm saying? I don't intend to be here by 8 o'clock in the night, to stream the training. Please, I give you the permission. If anybody wants to stream it, I'll leave the office open for you. All right? Or you can take permission from Zainab. If anybody intends to stream, they take your permission from Zainab. Then you reach out an agreement with maybe Mr. Marcus City, Mr. Israel. You just agree. You understand? Because you are the major people here in this office. And then whatever you could decide, you understand? So if anybody wants to stream it, intends to stream it, but please, it has to be based on their permission. For me, I've already given the permission, but if they permit it, all right, then you can stream it here. Who wants to come? Maybe the person does not have a smartphone, then the person can come here. All right. But please, the person has to take permission and be sure that it's holding. That is, if they are streaming it. If they are not streaming it, then the person looks for someone that can actually work. It's Zoom. This is the connected economy. The person should get a phone. All right. Then okay, let me see so that there are some on Zoom. Can one skip months without maintaining account? Yes, you can skip months without maintaining account, but the implication is that you skip months and losing money. That's what it means. Yeah, you skip, maintaining account makes you a silver executive, makes you gold executive, global ambassador, and makes you earn from other ways, isn't it? Step, Unilevel, UPP, gives you other additional income. So if you skip it, yes, can one skip? I would not advise that, but you can. Can means it's possible, isn't it? Because it's a matter of decision. You decide not to maintain your account, but what is the implication of decision? You lose money, Abi? That's it. So you can skip your account maintenance for months, but be sure that for those months you skip, you lose the money for tested, Unilevel, UPP, and even the point you're supposed to what? Deduct that gets you closer to becoming a silver or gold executive, or as the case may be. All right. Account maintenance is not absolutely compulsory. Well, it's optionally compulsory for those who actually want to become, who want to move faster in the business. But it's not, nobody made it compulsory, but it's very, very, very what? Very important. If you understand the importance, you won't miss it. Now, Umar Abdullahi is asking, some leaders usually close their offices when they are not around. So the other ones will not have option than to go to other office. So how do we tackle that? All right. Let me mention this. Please, for leaders, when you have an office, you have a responsibility. All right. If you have a reason, a leader, even if I'm not around, does not necessarily mean that the office might be totally shut down. All right. I think I travel a lot. It doesn't mean that the office must be shut down. So a leader can have the office open if their activities, reasonable activities wants to go on. All right. But you put everything that is into check. I know there are many things leaders consider and all that. Maybe they have some what challenges and all that. But please put in mechanisms to ensure that when you are not around, the office can stay open. You understand what I'm saying? So you can use, let me give an instance. Sometimes, I'm being factual here, I'm being very, very clear. Sometimes some leaders might say, oh, because I've not brought a safe haven, I've not brought a place where I can keep products, and I can't take the product my house, so it's in my office. So to secure my product, I have to always lock my office when I'm going out. You know what I'm saying? It means you are not the security guard. No. What you do, use the store. If you have your office, most of the offices here have store. All right. Or you can get a store, just carve out a store and put that and keep it on lock and keep valuable things. Then the main office where people can do activities, you leave it open. And that's the essence why every office should have maybe at least a secretary. But even if you don't have one, then have a trusted team member whom you can delegate to to be in charge when you are not around. Please, do you understand what I just said? Yes. Very important. So, but if the leader decides to lock the office, I don't think that's still a major problem, because the main thing is maybe the leader opens the office, does his cell meeting, does the training and everything. The event has been done, quick starter guide has been done. Oh, we are closed for today, and then lock the office. Does it stop you from booking? Can that stop you from doing your activity? No, it doesn't stop you. All right. If they lock your office, come to my office. If you are within Suleja, okay? My office is always open, isn't it? In fact, if you even have a need to stay till 10 o'clock, in the night or 12 o'clock in the night, you have a need, take special permission from Zainab. She will give you access, all right, give you the terms and conditions and everything. And then when you are done, you close, you know what. So the truth about it is that their offices, all right. That I hope that answers that concern, all right. Sir, interesting. Good morning, sir. Wait. It's like some of you will answer, will ask this question, you speak out on the voice note, please. Is it, sir, I have one. It's like I've skipped some questions. Okay, let me just start down going up. So if I maintain my account, I'm unable to generate 36 code in the month. Will I still qualify for vacation? And if I generate 36 code this month, but ignore account maintenance, will I qualify? You need to do all of them, please. All right. The question is, if I maintain my account and I'm unable to generate 36 code in the month, will I still qualify? Now, I want you to understand the primary aim of account maintenance is not vacation, please. But it is clear that it is one of the criteria for you to qualify for vacation. That's true. But is that the primary aim of maintaining your account? No. All right. So let's get it clear. The reason why I maintain my account is to keep it active so that I can be earning from other ways. Whether you maintain or not, you still earn your direct connector bonus, matching bonus. You earn a lot of money. But forget about stair step. Forget about Unilevel, forget about UPP, because you cannot be a silver executive prime or good executive prime or global ambassador prime, or as the case may be. So you maintain your account so that you can rank advance, so that you can advance in rank. The primary aim is to advance in rank, because when you become a silver executive, you start earning how many percent for every budget? 10%, thank you. Then gold executive, 20%. Global ambassador, 30%. If you even get to the ruby or diamond global ambassador, it's about 40%. All right. So which is extra money for you. So the primary aim of even maintaining your account is to build other ways of making money. All right. But most times when the company, the mother company does empower consumerism, when they come up with vacation, they always put that condition that the person must be a prime, something like that. Which can anybody be a prime if he's not maintaining the account? It automatically tells you that what? So that's what tells you that those who want to qualify for vacation have to be prime. And another reason why it's good you are a prime and it's good you should be doing your maintenance is this. Sometimes the condition comes, maybe the terms and condition comes in the numbers. They'll tell you need to have 100 gift checks and you must be a prime for 3 months. It therefore means, let's say you have 50 gift check. Your gift check is not up to 100. Will you qualify for the vacation? No. But guess what? I, as a leader, I have maybe over 1,000 plus gift check. I can easily now take 50 and give you. But if you are not a prime, you are not maintaining your account. If I give you the 50 gift check, will you still qualify? No. That's why I encourage people to ensure that they do the maintenance. Because if a leader wants to help you, because when it comes to vacation, let me tell you the truth, empower consumerism vacation, why many people qualify is not because they merited all the conditions. But when they merit some of it reasonably enough, leaders do what? Augment. Leaders augment. But if you are not qualified, you are not qualified. We go to south, you are not qualified. West, east, all around, you are not qualified. Nobody can help you. Do you understand it? So the primary aim of maintenance is not really for the vacation, but it's actually a condition for the vacation, but not, it's not, and I repeat, it's not the aim that I'm doing maintenance so that I can qualify for vacation. So the question will not be how many months will you do maintenance to qualify for vacation? No, the idea is it's a criteria for most vacations, but not the primary aim for doing maintenance. The primary aim for doing maintenance is to make money. That is it. And for Challenge 36, the primary aim of it is to grow in your income ladder so that you can what? Enter the millionaire cycle faster. So if you're doing maintenance and running Challenge 36, if you generate 36 code to enter secondary, all right, it means you're already going to be making more money compared to when you're in primary, and you stand better chance to qualify. When they want to qualify people for vacation, they will first consider those in the secondary. Look, I don't think anybody will consider those in primary. The reason is because fairness demands that people who have done more should be favored. You understand what I'm saying? It's just a fairness. I mean, someone has generated that school, entered secondary, and is trying, but has not met all the criteria. But is in secondary and is trying, is generating the codes and doing the business, and then it's time for me to favor. I will now leave that person and come and favor. Fairness demands that I should favor someone who has put in some effort. All right, that is it. So you need all. You need all. Even if you've not generated your passive, but you're in the primary, keep doing it if you have the capacity. All right, it's about capacity. All right, please don't go the extra mile to say you want to what? Turn all, kill yourself, because the truth about it, if you can afford it, You don't have to make so much money. If you can afford it, do it. Push yourself, get it done. But if it's not possible, then do your best, book and make more money so that you can now start doing it. Okay, that is it. If you don't have the means, let's say that you just started a business, you've not started making money yet, then that is not your priority. Your priority will be to what? To start making some money. But if you can afford it, you've not started making money in the business, but you can afford it. My advice is start doing it. Do you understand it? If you have not made money in the business and you cannot afford it, then what you should do, your priority is to quickly what? Build your business to start making money. Then when you start making money, then you go in and start doing it. I'm being very factual and reasonable. I'm not saying, oh, you don't have the money, then you start going and start borrowing to do maintenance. Please, that's very wrong. Do you understand it? If you can afford it, you've not made money in the business, you just started the business, but you have the means, you have the financial capacity. It's not a big deal for you. It's something you can afford. It's like light bill, like the way you are paying light bill in your house. So you can be doing it. Please, if you can afford it, go ahead, do it, don't miss it. But if you can't afford it, then your focus is be fast, make money in your business so that you can start affording it. All right, that is it. Please, did that answer that question? I'm sure it does, right? That is it. Someone says, I have one account and I don't have money to upgrade right now. Can the company hold my direct connector bonus whenever I connect a person till it is complete for multiple accounts? Let me get this. I didn't understand the question well. Let me. No, I didn't get this. I didn't understand it. That you said I have one account and I don't have money to upgrade the account right now. Okay. And say, can the company hold my direct connector bonus? Okay, hold my direct connector bonus whenever I connect a person till it's complete for multiple accounts. Okay, you want to do business for credit, Abby? Yeah? I'm sorry, Mr. Daniel, there's no credit here, please. And that's the beauty of our business. All right? Nobody does the business for credit. The only thing all right, it's a good question. All right. The company will not hold your direct connector bonus so that till whenever you're able to, maybe they'll give you accounts. Maybe they'll just give you the opportunity to upgrade to 7 accounts so that any direct connector bonus, then they will not be deducting it. The company has once done something like this before, but Nigerians were very too smart. There was a time I learned, before I joined the business, I learned that the company used to do it this way. When it's time for vacation, you know, it's gift check, of course. So if you don't have up to, well, I heard about this. I didn't witness it during my time. But if you don't have up to, let's say they say 100 gift checks, and you don't have up to 100, let's say you have up to 50, let's say half, for example. The company will take out that 50 and still qualify you for the vacation. All expenses paid and everything. But as you are now generating gift checks in the business, as you are generating income, you know, as you're making money, gift check is counting. So as you are now generating gift check, then gradually they will now be what? Deducting. But guess what they did? When they qualified lots of Nigerians, and many of them came, when they finished eating the chicken, eating masa and everything they ate there, and they came back, they said, oh boy, I'm taking my fair share. And many of them stopped the business. Did you see how smart Nigerians can be? So, and you know, the white man has his own nature. Once he gives you a trust and you betray it, he'll put in strict measures. You understand? To curtail it. So that's it. So you cannot do the business on credit. It doesn't work. We only have BAI. I think we understand. BAI is clear. All right. That's your leader giving you that favor. But meanwhile, what you do, if you have one account and you don't have the means to upgrade, find a means. All right. That's what I would advise. Now, that's the first thing. Find a means. Don't wait for convenience. Now, if you find every means, you've tried your best, and be sure, because it's only your conscience that tells you that you've done your best. If really you've done your best to find a means and you can't, then you already have one account. Build with the one account and make more money and then eventually upgrade. That's it. That's my principle. Because I'm against the principle where someone will say, man, I have one account, but let me hold my business down first. Let me first go and look for money somewhere. And I come back and upgrade. If you know that there was that much money somewhere, you shouldn't have even done the business in the first place. You don't get what I'm saying? You can look for money within the business and then use it to upgrade your account. That is if you've done everything doable. You've tried all means to solicit support. You've tried every means, you know, to do whatever you can, but unfortunately you can't. Then your best choice is to build. Everybody has their own story. I started with 7 accounts. Mr. Ahmed, for example, started with 3 accounts, and today he has several accounts. He has the maximum account possible. All right. But the truth about it is this: you should push for upgrade. Push people to upgrade. Anybody that has the capacity to upgrade and stayed low, they'll quit the business very soon. That's the truth. All right, they won't be serious, and they will even regret it later because they will realize they shot themselves on the feet. So he said, "Good morning, boss. One of my team member has she's a working. Is there anybody with a question here? Please, you indicate. I'm taking those on Zoom. Say good morning, boss. Advice you call me mentor, please. This boss thing, I'm tired of it, please. All right. Or you can call me Dr. Umar, or just call me good morning, doctor. All right. So, good morning, boss. One of my team members, I don't know. You know, boss is a wicked person. I hope you know. When I was small, when we watched film, you know, there's actor. An actor used to kill who? And you're calling me boss. What is the what's the spelling of? I don't. Wait. Don't use my brain, oh. Don't use my head. Oh. Someone say no. That one is boss. This one is boss. It's you that call it boss. It's all is boss. Well, that's just on a lighter note, okay? Please, this good morning boss thing, all right? This boss thing. You know my name. My name is Dr. Umar. Just call me Dr. Umar, okay? Call me Dr. Umar. Mentor, all right? I think mentor is okay, all right? That's it. That's it. So, please don't give me that boss thing, please, because if you are calling me, instead call me actor. Now let me be actor. Why are you calling me boss? So if I'm boss, you are what? Actor, Adi. So you now be the one to kill me when we act movie. Huh? All right, that's by the way. He said, good morning. Let me see. Okay. So good morning. Okay. One of my team members, she's working class, registered with 15 accounts. Registered with 15 accounts now. She's not participating since last 2 months. Whenever I try to advise her, she doesn't listen. And she has many contact lists from her downline, but she refused to release it since, sir. What should I do? Okay, she has a team. If I get the question, she has a team member who signed to the business about 2 months ago. And the person has 15 accounts. And she has lots of contact lists for her team members. But if she requires the contact list, she's not releasing it, what should I do? It's simple. Let me get it clear. I'm assuming here that you are saying that the person has contact lists and then she also has downlines that have contact lists, but she's not releasing the contact. Maybe she was booking for her downlines before, but now that she's not doing the business, she's not releasing the contact list. All right. Well, there's one thing I could do, or I would advise. It's a business. If you are demanding the contact list, is to whose favor? Of course, majorly to her favor. You are trying to even help her. You understand? So if she's not releasing it, and you have any of the downlines that are really, really serious, tell them to compile another one. You get what I'm saying? For example, I'm working with Salama, and the idea is she's booking, she has the team member. Later, she now, went a little cold, and she had the contact list of her team member. I said, so now let me have those contact lists so that I can help you reach out to some of them and book. And she's not releasing it. I reach down to the people and I tell them to compile fresh. I invite them and I work with them. All right. Some of them will, some won't. The ones that will, you work with them. All right. But you keep communicating, keep in touch with her. We wouldn't know the reason why. Maybe she has maybe an exigence. Maybe she has lost it. You need to know exactly why she's not releasing it. If she's not releasing it because maybe she felt, I wouldn't know. All right. But you need to find out exactly why. But get the contact list from those downlines. Call them. Because even if you're going to book those contact lists, you still need to connect with the downline. Because there's no way you'll be booking people's contact lists and they are not in the picture. Otherwise, they'll mess everything up. So since you're going to you call the downline and tell them to recompile, man, that contact list you compile. We've not gotten sign up yet. And it's like we misplaced it, but can you compile on that one? I want to be the one to personally work on it. They'll compile and then you do that. I hope that answers that. All right. All right. I said my question is another question. Yeah, someone is asking a question. He said all of my downline doesn't respond to my call for meeting. Only complain I'm busy. Almost discourage me moving forward. Okay, that's a beautiful one. But most times I need you to check. The speed of the team is always most times proportional to the speed of the leader. That's one thing I must tell you. You're going to have people who are going to be telling you I'm busy. But you see, you need to learn to be sometimes a one-man soldier. That's the truth. All right. You're going to prospect people. So I'm busy. But there are people you're actually looking for in this business. I hope you know that. You don't need everybody in your team to get to financial freedom. but you need to do your best to carry everybody along as much as possible. But you don't need everybody to become financially free. In fact, 2 persons is enough for you. All right. So most times, getting those persons you need to search him through. All right. So if a person tells you I'm busy, all right, you need to check yourself as a leader first. Are you meeting up to pace? Are you doing the needful? If you are, and guess what? You have a bunch of people who, I'm busy. Then what you do, work with them according to their time zone. Because them being busy, yes. For me, the way I've learned to play it is this: I will just have more than enough people, just enough people I should be working with at a particular time. When you're working with 2 persons, 1 person, 2 persons, and 2 of them are telling you they are busy, you get frustrated if you keep following them. All right. But for me to make my business easy for me and to make the business easy for them, what do? I can have up to 10 persons I'm working with, meaning I need to keep recruiting. Once I have 10 persons I'm working with, 5 of them said, I'm busy. What do? I find out the time that is most convenient for them and work with them according to their capacity. Then those other 5 who are so much ready to move, I move with them with that speed. Do you get the point? So the idea now will be that those people will grow according to their capacity or according to their commitment. But if they are all committed to some degree, they will all succeed. But it will not be at the same pace. The person that started this business the same time with you, but you are committing more time, more energy, and all that, it's only natural that you move faster than the person. Because the person is always busy. He only builds once in a week, like me then, once in a week. But you are building every day. So if you are going to be hitting it maybe in 3 months, you've broken through. Well, it might take him 1 year or more. But the most important thing is this: as long as they are all committed, they are actually going to break through eventually. But it's just that it will take them different times. All right. So you as a leader, use your discretion, work with people according to their time zone, give them the best of support. Some of them just need to build for some time or part-time and eventually come on full-time. All right. Give them the little support you can. But there are some, please take note, there are some that this I'm busy, they are telling you is just lack of interest. Some they're just telling you I'm busy because they're just trying to discard you. They're not really interested in the business, or they're not even ready. Maybe they're just lazy for the business. They're lazy towards the business. So what do? Like an abandoned vehicle, you park them aside and you move on. Did you get what I'm saying? That's it. Is the clear answer to the question? Now, for you to be discouraged, like you said, so I'm almost discouraged. Now, the reason why you are discouraged is because you've not understood what rejection is about, and you've not understood the game to this point. And I'm sure your recruiting might not be much. If you are recruiting, guess what? You won't even have that issue. You won't have any reason to be discouraged. You are very, very busy. All right. Work with those that are willing so that your business is easy for you. Now, I think that's the questions so far. Did I miss any? I think none. All right. All right, good. I think I've answered most of the question. Does anybody have any other question again? I think we've ended it. Now, okay, let me take that as the last one. Okay, let me take the last one. Yes.
What of the events that you have your contact?
Yeah. Abroad, different places. Beautiful question. So what if you have contact lists and this contact list are spread in different locations? Kano, Lagos, Dubai, different places. Now it's easy. All right, technology has helped us. Before, it wasn't easy for us, but now it's much easier. A person can connect someone anywhere, but don't forget, charity begins where? Yeah, when people are compiling contacts, when they compile, you can encourage them to always, first of all, start with people within. All right, but that doesn't mean they cannot compile without. They can compile from other locations. Now, you can discuss with your leader to know if there's an office there, but even if there's no functional, there's always a functional office everywhere. But maybe you might not have the partnership or the privilege to book to that office. All right. Now, if there's an office there, you book to that office. Let's say, for example, like Lagos, you can book to Abuja, you can book to Mina, a couple of places you can book to. But there are some places, maybe that's not your leader's office, and you can't really book there. All right, that's why we have Zoom. All right, we have Zoom. We have the IPV. IPV is what? Instant prospecting video. You can send the video from wherever they are, they can watch it and get the information. All right, like for example, tonight I'm going to be doing a kind of a close call for someone that is in Cameroon. Is it Douala? What do you call the place? Douala. That's it. So, I'm going to be doing a close call. The person watched the video, liked it so much, in fact, wants to ask some questions, and in fact, wants to even, is already even ready to connect. A lot of people say, no, hold on. We need to get you started first. And you just need to make some inquiries. So I'm going to be having that close call scheduled for later tonight. So a person can sign up from anywhere, book them to Zoom, book them using the video. All right. These are other ways you can explore. The only problem where we have is if a person is a far distance and does not have Android phone, is wahala. If you are close by and you don't have Android phone, you can take advantage because of the home advantage with your leader. But if you are far away and you don't even have a phone that you can WhatsApp or you can do this, it's big wahala because it's almost like a hopeless case, but we need to think of something. But at the moment, it's a hopeless case, except the person has to find a means, all right, to get a phone, all right? So that is it. So book them to Zoom. That will be the solution in the meantime, all right? 2 days ago, one of my prospects signed up with 31 account. How do we access it to one FG Health Insurance? I don't understand. If the person signed up on the go with 31 account, then it can be entitled to it. But if he didn't sign up on the go, he signed up and then later upgraded, then we don't do that. We look at the payment. If it's a single one account, 31 account payment, then it's entitled. All right, then I can discuss the mastermind on that. But if otherwise, if the person signed up first and later upgraded it, no, he doesn't have access to that. So please confirm that with your leader and then tell your leader to communicate with me. All right, that's what we do. And I don't understand withholding tax. Okay, so I don't understand withholding tax. I charged 13,900. Outrageous. Okay, I was charged. Okay, 13,900. No. It's not outrageous. So I don't know how much you withdraw. You should have told us how much you withdraw. It's 5%. How much is the tax? 5%. All right. He said he doesn't understand withholding tax. I think who do we ask? Is it Buhari or Nigerian government? Did you get that? It's tax. Tax is tax. All right. When you make an encashment, 5% of that money goes to the government. All right. So if I withdraw 100,000 naira, it means 5,000 naira goes to the government. I'm sure you withdraw more than 100,000 naira. Or you withdraw more than 200,000. Maybe you even withdraw maybe 200 and something thousand or something. I wouldn't know. All right. Now there's also bank charges. Bank charge now is 600 naira per transaction, right? It's a flat rate. Even if you are withdrawing 1 million naira from an account, per account, it is still 600 naira. If you are withdrawing 7,000 naira, they charge you 600 naira. If you are withdrawing 1 million naira, it's still 600. Any amount you are withdrawing is a flat rate. That's why I encourage people, I advise them. Don't see once you just, some people, their name is E and E. You know what is E and E? Encode. Once they just encode, look to please do the encode. Immediately, 7,000. Bam. They withdraw it. Now you see, when you withdraw 7,000, they'll still deduct you 600 naira. But if you allow it to accumulate, all right, it's still the same 600. So if you have an exigency, you need to withdraw, fine, go ahead, do that. But if you have a means to wait for it to accumulate, it's better so that you save your charges. All right. But the tax is 5%. Do the calculation, whatever you withdrew, check it. So withholding tax is not outrageous. In fact, many of you pay more than that. I think this is one of the lowest tax you can even ever get. Most times, people pay more. You go to other countries and all that. So 5%, but that's not for me to defend anybody. It's the government that fixed that one. Is it your fault? Is it my fault? No, it's the government. All right, and that's so please check. Okay, check, Mr. Andrew. Check how much you withdrew, so that you can do the calculation yourself. All right. Someone said, truly rejection is a bad experience. I'm taking my time to do all this because I wanted to learn more. Truly rejection is a bad experience. Yes, it's a bad experience for people who have not what? Who don't understand it, who have not gotten the right mindset. You know, there are 3 things we train in this business. Number 1 is what? Mindset. Number 2 is what? Skills. And number 3 is your leadership. All right? The power of your relationship or leadership. Those are the 3 things. Once you have these 3 things, you are good in the business. Now, you see, you see rejection as a bad experience because your mindset has not been trained to what? To absorb it. It's natural. People don't, nobody likes to be rejected. But for me, rejection is my food. It's my drink. I love it. You get worried about rejection. Doesn't even matter. Did you get logic? That's it. Is it even important? You understand? Check every word twice. So the idea is this: for rejection, I encourage you to even study prospecting rules. That book will help you. And also, you can also study your first year network marketing. If you study your first year network marketing, then I think you can develop some level of immunity. For me, I love rejection. Now, let me tell you something. You see rejection as negative. It's not a bad experience. It's a good experience. Hello? Rejection is a what? It's actually a good experience. Rejections, objections are good for you. When you are going through rejection, what it just simply means is that number one, let me tell you why it's a good experience for a couple of reasons, at least 2 reasons. Number one, it's a good experience because it means you are doing something. And once you are doing something, it means there's possibility for you. You are far better than the person that is not even getting the rejection. Some people don't do anything because they don't want people to reject them, and that's why they won't make anything. They won't even get anywhere. But for you getting rejection, it is because you are with the ball. I think there was a video you know the video I'm talking about, right? Where that pastor was explaining. It is people that are with the ball that get what? When you are with in Champions League, how many people are watching it? How many million people? All over the world, people are watching it. But how many people are playing it? Even in the stadium, at least there will be thousands of people, maybe 50,000, 40,000 people watching it in the stadium. Millions of people all over the world. But who is playing it? How many people playing on the field? 22. But out of the 22, there is always one person with the ball at any time. And you will observe that is the person everybody. So if you are getting rejection in this business, you should even be happy. Because it means you are doing something. Each time you get an objection, you get a no. No. Man, go and sit down. Each time you keep getting this, the truth about it is this. Let me make you understand it. The reality is you are doing something. Every no, that's what Mark Leroux said in Prospecting Rules. He said, every no gets you closer to your next what? Yes. Every no gets you closer to your next yes. And every yes gets you closer to your goal. When you book a 50 contact, how many sign-ups are you even expecting from the 50 contacts on the average? How many? Please, somebody answer that. When you book 50 contacts, how many sign-ups are you even expecting? Maybe 2, 5, 7. On the best case scenario, 7 people sign up. Wow, good result. 5, 4, 2. Even if one sign up, it's okay. So the idea is this: I went through how many no's? If 2 people sign up, it means for every 25 no's, I got 1 yes. But guess what? That 2 years can get me to financial freedom. And that's the reason why in entrepreneurship, a lot of people actually fail, because rejection. And that's why we take you through your first year network marketing. So if you are doing it and you are getting a no, it means you are getting closer to the next years. All right. Secondly, rejection opens a means for conversation. If you are a trained consultant, when people reject you, it's an opportunity to what? To get them involved in a conversation. Do you know something? I think you told me ignoring. When people ignore you, I rather you reject me than ignore me. When people ignore someone, you engage a person, the person says, man, I'm not interested in this thing, I'm not interested in this thing. I even like it that you have rejected me than I call you, you didn't pick at all, to even tell me that you're not interested. When the person ignores you, because you can't even have an opportunity to even what? Engage. When the person rejects you, it opens an opportunity for, oh, wow, you're not interested. I mean, why? It's like you have a bad experience in the past. Yes, now, I've done MMM, I've done this. Then we start telling you all that, hey, it's funny about that too. But tell me, so it doesn't mean you use the big money to invest in that business. See, yes, I spent 500,000, but do you know what? He was not interested, but we're already talking now. He's not even aware that we've already entered the discussion. And that's what I just want. Get them into conversation. Objections, rejections, give you an opportunity for conversation, but that's when you're well trained for that, all right? And can also study for no yes is destination. I didn't get that. I didn't get that. It's another recommended book for you. So I didn't get that, Mr. Daniel Joseph. I didn't get that. Maybe you can repost that. Okay, I didn't get that. All right. 2 days ago, my protest sample. No, I've done that. All right. True rejection is a bad experience. No, rejection is not a bad experience. It's a good experience. All right. If you understand it, that is it. 2 months ago, 31 account. Okay, good. So we're going to be ending this session here. Please take note. Tomorrow is the mastermind training, but on Monday, because this is a contact recommendation series, I will upload this on YouTube. So ensure you subscribe to the channel on the notification so you can get anything I post on the YouTube channel. But take note of this. Hello. Please, on Monday, there is a high tendency that what we're going to be focusing on, that is for our Super Leadership Monday, will now be question and answers. It's a Q&A session, but on contact recommendation. Because after the mastermind training tomorrow, a lot of you have been booking, a lot of you are still booking today, a lot of you will still be booking after then. Most of the objections, those core records, we're going to take from those core records, we're going to dissect it. I will be teaching you, what I'm going to be teaching you are specific objections you get in the field. Specific rejections you get. How do you counter it when you are making call? That's going to be, so that is a very, very important training for Super Leadership Monday. All right. Now, please let me also use this opportunity to announce this. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm also pleased to let you know this. Let me share this screen. I'm pleased to let you know this, but this is not for everybody. Please take note. It's not for everybody, but please, I'm pleased to let you know this. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to let, of course, tomorrow is 8 p.m. Don't forget our Super Leadership Monday, but I'm also pleased to let you know this. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to announce to you that the Entrepreneur Mentor is going to be having a mindset clinic. All right, it's a presentation, but the theme of it is the mindset clinic. All right, that is it. But, and the theme of it is what to do. You know, we're training three things: mindset, skills, and leadership. So it's going to be a mindset, you know, orientation for the Entrepreneur Mentor. Is going to be giving us this, you know, free of charge, but not for everybody. And that's why I encourage every single one of you take your business very soon. I hope you can see it. I think it's that's it. That's, please, can we give him a round of applause? Please, let's appreciate him. All right. So he's going to be giving us this. All right. It's going to be live on Zoom. All right. But it's not for everybody. That's the truth. The theme of it is what to do when you feel stuck. Some people, they get to a level in the business, you know, go front now, you know, go front. Go back, you know, go back. You get that kind of level. And guess what? You don't even know what to do. Guess what? What do you do at that time? All right, he's going to be educating us on that. In fact, this is not what I myself would think of missing. All right, it's 9 o'clock in the morning, but your leader will give you, the path. You see, it's open to, according to this thing here, say open to Max Club members only. All right, that's what I see here. Of course, mentorship, capacity building, goal setting, and so it's for Max Club member. Do you know what is a Max Club member? All right, but when we talk about Max Club member, these are people. Max Club members are people who have a max mindset. All right, it's the Entrepreneur Mentor does that. He has these people. In fact, when you come into the business, the Entrepreneur Mentor has a standard. Please, I hope you know if you don't have that one account, he doesn't mentor you. I hope you know that. It's his standard. It's his standard. There's no, he has gotten to, has risen to that level. Sometimes I mentor people, sometimes on BI and all that. He doesn't do that. BI, forget about it. If you don't, he has done a lot of it. So don't say why. He has done a lot of it, but he has gotten to a standard where if you are signing into this business and you don't have the maximum account possible, if you are old in this business, you don't have 23 account plus 31, don't come close to him. If you are new in the business, you don't have 31 account, don't come close to him. You can't even get, even people with 31 account, not all of them get access to it. Now, he has a reason for it. The only reason is because so that he's into serious business. He wants to be sure that if I'm giving you my time, you're going to value it. That's it. So that's the Max Club, all right? But meanwhile, let me be honest with you. Some of you, in fact, a lot of you will get privileged to be part of it. All right? I'm going to find a way to do my best to sneak every way to favor a lot of you to be part of it. Won't you clap for me? All right, thank you. So the reality is I'm going to do my best, all right? I know the slot will just be open. They will just want to select some specific person, but what I intend to do is to see how much of slot I can get. It's free. The training is free, but not for everybody, all right? But I'll do my best to see how I know go to work. You shall get some. So in case you get a privilege of a slot for this from your leader, don't play with it. Make sure you are there, all right? It's 9 o'clock in the morning, and you can be part of it. In fact, what I might even do, please keep this a secret. I know this record might not come to you, but please keep it a secret. What I might even do, I might even conference it for some specific people. All right, that's what I might do. So that most of you will get it, okay? That is it. So let's all get ready. Put all this in your calendar and don't be reminded, all right? Don't wait to be reminded. Just make sure once it's time, we benefit from this. I appreciate every single one of you. Let's get down to real business. Let's get back to our activities and let the booking begin. Once you book your maximum number, then it means you are set. All right, so that you don't just, let's not just waste our time. Let's do more. I appreciate every single one of you and remain unstoppable. Okay? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And much appreciation to those on Zoom. All right, those joining on Zoom. I appreciate every single one of you. The Dragon Force team. All right, that's like a category office. And also much appreciation to Alhaji Isiaq. You are highly appreciated joining us. And every single one of you that have joined, all right, even Mr. Mufobis and that's the Visionaries and the Alpha Champions, and every single one of you that have joined from far and wide, all right, ensure you are part of the mastermind training for tomorrow so that you can benefit. And God bless you.